Had 10-4 on Friday night and never looking back, winning the total goal series 14-7. Michigan Tech shocked the Denver fans on Friday, winning the first game 4-3. Then Denver came back to outscore the Huskies 3-2 in the first two periods of Saturday night's game to tie the score at 6 apiece, when poor ice conditions caused suspension of the game. When play was resumed at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, the Pioneers caught the Huskies napping, scoring 3 goals and eliminating Michigan Tech 9-6. Tonight in the second round of the WCHA playoffs, Minnesota hosts Wisconsin. And live from the DU Arena, we bring you the DU Pioneers hosting the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth.
United Cable and Mile High Cablevision present the 1986 Western Collegiate Hockey Association playoffs. Brought to you in part by light beer from Miller, everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. Safeway Gas and Grocery, when you don't have time to wait in line. Kumpf Motors, a one-of-a-kind dealer. KLSC AM 1090, classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Tynan's Nissan Volkswagen Isuzu in the 700 block of South Havana. And by Dodge City, we'll beat the pants off any deal.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Norm Jones with Jim Conrad. It is the second game of the two-game total goal series between the University of Denver Pioneers and the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. And the Pioneers enter game 2 with a 6-goal advantage, having beaten the Bulldogs, at least run up a 6-goal advantage in the 8-2 score that the Pioneers developed last night, and they simply have to stay in that position, win by at least 1 goal, and they advance to the championship round of the WCHA playoffs. So the Pioneers came out last night, Jim Conrad, and really played well and put themselves in great position.
No question about it. They dominated the hockey game from the opening face-off to the final buzzer, played extremely well in building the 6-goal margin 8-2. Tonight, they're going to have another good effort. They will now, as we are now informed, be going without 2 of their top centers. Yeah. Jeff Lamb, of course, did not play last night and will not play again tonight because of that temporary paralysis he is suffering in his right foot from an injury that happened against Michigan Tech last week. And just moments ago, we were told by assistant coach John Harrington, as he stopped by the booth, that Dallas Gom, the top center on the team and the leading scorer in the WCHA, will not be playing tonight. He suffered an ankle sprain in the middle of last night's game, continued to play the rest of the game, even though the doctor, Dr. Robert Leffler, had advised him not to, scored a goal.
And had 2 assists.
Yes, and had a terrific night. But we saw Dallas before the game in the locker room and asked him if he was going to play. He nodded his head yes. But apparently the doctor has now said, no, I don't think you should try it, and Gom will not be playing tonight.
Well, with the Pioneers with that big advantage of 6 goals, perhaps the thinking that why jeopardize Dallas Gom, that if the Pioneers could advance beyond this round and go into the WCHA Championship Series, you want Dallas Gom back for that series. But you're right, the strength of this team this year has been up the middle. The center iceman, led by Dallas Gom. As you indicated, he won't play tonight. Jeff Lamb and John McMillan, the other 2 centers. McMillan missed a number of games earlier this year, 9 games because of an injury he suffered, so all 3 center icemen for the Pioneers have now missed some action. Gom did not miss a game during the regular season, but we'll just have to see how it affects the Pioneers. It is a 6-goal advantage, but I think DU has to come out and continue the play that they demonstrated last night, because if they have a tendency to fall back, they may find Duluth beginning to pick up the pace and getting right back into it, and all of a sudden it could get down to a 3-goal lead, whatever, and then it would be very close. We'll be back to the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
There's a brand new radio station that plays the classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s without a lot of talk. It's KLSC Classic Hits at exactly 1090 on your AM dial.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
For classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, tune to AM 1090 KLSC.
We'll beat the pants off any deal. Dodge City.
Whoa out there, partner. Could you run that by me again a little slower?
Oh, here it comes again. Look out. Get out of my way. Catching up with all of us. Can't just see it wipe us right out. Keep going. Keep going.
We'll beat the pants off any deal. Dodge City.
And there are two of the officials for tonight's game. We don't know where the third one is.
Dewey Marcus on your right is the referee. The one linesman that is there is Al Welling. Buzz Christensen will be the other linesman. And in goal tonight for the Duluth Bulldogs, it'll be their other freshman goaltender, Mike Cortez, 5'10", 170-pound freshman from Duluth. A 3.59 goals against average, 11-6-0 on the season. And as it was last night, it'll be Chris Olson in goal for the DU Pioneers. Olson, spectacular last night, 6'3", 190-pound junior from New Hope, Minnesota. A 3.13 goals against average coming in to last night's game and a 90% save average. He has been outstanding, 14-5 on the year. For Chris Olson, he is the hot goaltender, and the Pioneer coaching staff will go with Chris Olson.
He is stopping 9 out of 10 shots he faces, and that is very, very solid. Well, it'll be Christoffoli in the middle with Eckelbarger and Mathiasen on the wings, as normally Dallas Gom would be in this center ice position, but Christoffoli is there. Johnson and Smith starting on defense for the Pioneers and for the Bulldogs.
It'll be Jim Toninato at the center position between Skeeter Moore and Brett Hall, and on defense it'll be Guy Goslin and Norm McIver.
So the Pioneers without Jeff Lamb and without Dallas Gom tonight, leading by 6 goals, and the puck is in the Duluth zone. We will see and watch early how this develops. Duluth in a position where they can come out and go all out at the Pioneers. They trail by 6. They have nothing to lose because they're already back by 6. And if they could start chipping away, and look out right in front, a close-in shot by Skeeter Moore missed the target. If they can start chipping away at the lead, that will begin to put some pressure on the Pioneers. DU needs to come out and keep that strong play that they've demonstrated against Michigan Tech in Game 2 and then last night against Duluth. Jim Smith trying to work it ahead. Smith at the red line and trying to fire it in, and it goes off Mathiasen. Also leaving the game last night was David Hansen. He apparently will play tonight. He had a groin problem, but apparently he can go tonight. Jim Onstad, we didn't know about it last night. There's Hansen out on the ice now. Onstad suffered a knee bump, and he is able to continue tonight. So Dallas Gom, the only one who was injured last night, that will not be able to play.
So the Pioneers now down to just 10 forwards, which means they can only play 3 complete lines.
It's cleared into the Pioneer zone. Gorley is there. Gorley trying to work it ahead, and it's kept in the zone.
But of course, what they've been doing is having Kermit Eckelbarger shadow Hall whenever he is out on the ice. So they've been shuffling those lines anyway, and this may not hurt DU as much as you might think.
Springer leading the rush into the Pioneer zone, trying to get by Mercier. Mercier at the last moment dives for the puck and dislodges it, and now it's forced in front. Shot, a goal! Right away, Duluth has scored, and I was just going to say, Jim, that the team that scored the first goal may pick up the advantage in this one. If the Pioneers been able to score first, then the Bulldogs would have been 7 back. All of a sudden, they're within 5 with a long way to go.
Take a look at it. As you see, Mayer struggled with it. Derek Mayer struggled behind the net. It came right out in front to Tousignant, and Tousignant whistled it up high past Olson. There you see Mayer struggling with it, and in behind the net for Duluth was Jim Springer, who really forced it out in front, got it right to Tousignant, and then Tousignant popped it in, and it's 1-0 Duluth.
And the important score, 8-3. The Pioneers with a 5-goal advantage.
Tousignant, his first of the season. Is that right? First of the season for Tousignant. He had not had a goal or an assist of any kind all season, and that is his first.
Oh, and another shot and a close call. Olson got in the way of that. I'm telling you, if Duluth picks up a couple of goals here, they're within 4 with a lot of time left. This is not a cinch. Everybody says, gee, up by 6, you're in pretty good shape. You would be, but the Pioneers have to keep Duluth off the scoreboard and have to get that one back. It is now 8-3, a 5-goal advantage as the puck is worked ahead by Mercier. Now to McMillan. In across the line. He'll let his shot go. That's deflected. Comes to Jim Smith. Drive. That one off the leg and into the corner. And it is McMillan. There, he takes a hit. Now to Smith. Clears it to Menzies. Trying to clear it across in front of the net to Onstad. He was there, but the puck was off the ice. He couldn't control it. Duluth has scored the first goal in this one. Scholl for the Bulldogs. He'll clear it in as the Duluth Bulldogs want to make a change.
Let me give you that goal. Tousignant, his first of the season from Springer at 146.
And the Pioneers struggle to get it out of their own zone. Lead pass to Onstad, and he loses it at the red line. Christoffoli trying to force it into the zone. Can't get it into the zone, and Illikainen comes back. Toward the net, Olson will shove that into the corner. Around it comes to Mathiasen, and he'll just clear it out. We got a penalty coming up. A penalty against the Pioneers.
It'll be on Gorley.
So right away, the Pioneers have allowed a goal against, and they'll be shorthanded. Don't want to overstate it, but a power play goal here by Duluth, and they would be within 4 goals with most of the game left. Pioneers have to be very careful the way they're starting this game.
I thought it was against Gorley. Watch this. Olson gets decked from behind by Delisle. And I believe
that is Delisle, so the Pioneers have not been penalized.
It's Delisle that gets the penalty.
Well, that changes things a little bit. If the Pioneers could get a power play goal and get it back.
Well, I knew it was number 10, but I had the wrong team. I said Gorley, and it was Delisle who picks up the penalty. Delisle for interference as he decked Olson from behind at 3:14. So the Pioneers now with an opportunity to get that goal back.
Pioneers scoring 25% of the time when they have the man advantage. Out for Dallas Gom on the power play unit, Scott Mathias, who played well last night, replacing Jeff Lamb at center. So Mathias is out with McMillan and Mathiasen up front, and it's Smith and Dion at the points. Here's Mathiasen across the line. Past him, Mathiasen. Back to the line it goes. Nobody is there. It's picked up by Skeeter Moore. Dion has to scramble back. Skeeter Moore into the zone. Shot. And he's pulled down. A penalty coming up against Dion. Dion had to react and pull him down as Skeeter Moore moved in front of Chris Olson, and this will even things up. Skeeter Moore was trailing the play to the Pioneer blue line, and the puck got by the DU defense and into center ice to Skeeter Moore, and he had a breakaway.
Watch Mathiasen, who, well, you won't see that, but Mathiasen tried to get it back to the blue line, but it went by everybody, and there you see Dion pulling down Skeeter Moore. That's where the penalty came. Dion for hooking at 3:46, so the two teams are now 4 aside. But the problem was, as DU skated in, Mathiasen tried a back pass to the blue line, misfired, and it went right out to the red line. Skeeter Moore was behind everybody. Dion had to catch him, and too bad because Olson was going to make the save anyway. But you can't blame Dion in that situation.
Springer with a drive, and that's deflected out of play. We will tell you that in the other WCHA semifinal game, and the 2-game total goal series began this afternoon at Mariucci Arena in Minneapolis. The games this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, and it was 4-1. 4-1 as Minnesota leading Wisconsin by 3 goals. Winner of that series will play the winner of this series. Mercier in behind the net. Now it's banked out to center. Cowan is there. I think the critical stage of this game is the beginning of the game and certainly the first period. If the Pioneers can keep things at least level as compared to, or at least level when I talk about the 6-goal advantage, that would be important after the first period. This is a big period. The team that comes out and does the job here will have a lot of success, you would think, the rest of the way. Here's Smith into the zone. Smith lost it as Springer knocked it off his stick. Springer trying to find some room. Dishes off. Toomey has it. Now it comes back to Toomey and right side to DeAngelis. Brett Hall is out there looking for the puck side of the net. Could not control it. Pioneers come back the other way. 26 seconds, and then Duluth will have the man advantage. Weiss with a hard drive. Missed the net. Skeeter Moore will bank it out to center. He's trying to split the Pioneer defense. Sean Toomey, now he'll get a shot off, and he missed the target. How did that happen? Went right between the defense and got a shot off. In 5 seconds, Duluth has the man advantage. They will have about a 30-second man advantage. Mathiasen and McIver battle for it. The penalty is over to Delisle. Now about a 30-second penalty or power play chance for Duluth as the Pioneers change up. The Bulldogs trying to work it ahead, but Hansen gets in the way of that. Feeds off to Derek Mayer. He'll step into the zone. He's knocked down there. Knocked down by Goslin. Pioneers lead the total goal series 8-3 by 5 goals. Now 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Grant Dyan as McIver works ahead. McIver across his own blue line with 3 seconds on the penalty. McIver into the zone. Centers it. The penalty is over. Puck in the Pioneer zone toward the net. McIver could not hang on to it. Now Brett Hall with a drive, and that missed as it went wide. Shot from a tough angle, and Mathias works to center. Into the zone, gives it to Weiss, drive, and he missed the net. Rebound shot, Gorley, goal! It's good, Tommy Weiss! Weiss missed the net on the initial shot, but then he got the rebound as he parked himself in front of the net, and the Pioneers get that goal back.
Weiss missed on the shot, but it came hard off the end boards and came right to David Gorley. Then Gorley will take a look. Here's Gorley. He whips the shot. The rebound comes right to Weiss. There it is, and he just bangs it in.
Big, big goal for the Pioneers as Tommy Weiss gets the Pioneers even in this game, and they're back to a 6-goal advantage.
Norm, I think you're seeing why the Pioneers have been the #1 team in the nation most of the season. They're without two of their top 3 centermen, and yet they continue to play very well.
Puck in the corner, right side of Chris Olsen. And it is Christofoli who brings it to center. Christofoli into the zone. Trying to split the defense. Springer and Christofoli at the end boards. Puck left there. Some hitting. Pioneers doing a good job of hitting. Last night, certainly. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Why do I shop at Safeway? Convenient shopping at supermarket prices.
Great gas prices, fast self-service.
At Safeway, I can get fast hot lunches or snacks, day or night.
Why do I shop at Safeway? Groceries, gas, lunch, and snacks, all in one place. And at Safeway, I can use my credit card.
Safeway, the last of the friendly, good old hometown stores.
Puck cleared out to center and held along the sideboards for another face-off.
A goal, Weiss, his 20th of the season from Gorley and Mathias at 6:06, and boy, has Scott Mathias done the job. Oh. A goal and an assist last night, replacing Jeff Lamb, and he's got an assist tonight.
And that's Tom Hansen in behind the net. Did not see much of him last night. He's able to get it left side, DeAngelis. Now to Odnikon. Shot, Olsen save, looking for the loose puck. Where is it? Finally hangs onto it. There's Chris Olsen down on the ice. He had to reach for the puck, and he smothers it for a face-off. Pioneers did so many things well last night, and one of the things they did do well was their aggressive hitting. And they'll need to continue that against this Duluth team.
Here you see the shot coming off the stick of Odnikon, and there's Olsen trying to find the handle. Gorley's trying to help him.
And Odnikon wants to get Gorley out of there so the puck frees up, hopefully. Pioneers with a 6-goal advantage. 8-2 last night. They've each scored a goal tonight, so it's 9-3.
You know, I think you're right, though. Duluth really has the advantage here when you look at this one particular game because they can go all out for it. So what if they give up a goal? They're already 6 behind.
Right.
It's really, they can be very offensive-minded, whereas the Pioneers certainly have to worry about playing well.
Shot, and that's deflected. Brett Hall is at the left point. Took a shot a minute ago. They may be putting Brett Hall out there a lot tonight. There's a shot toward the net. Brett Hall is at the left point. They want that firepower out there. If you can get the puck to him at the line, they want him to fire at the net.
Well, that also may...
Why not use Brett Hall in every position you can tonight? Try to get his shot on goal, see if you can get back into the game. It's a good idea. There's a penalty coming up. Eckelbarger's knocked down. Pioneers will gain the man advantage.
Mike Surdich is unhappy with Sean Toomey. Toomey goes into the penalty box. Toomey came over trying to explain why he took the penalty, but I don't think Surdich bought it.
So the Pioneers with the man advantage. McMillan is out with now Hansen and Mathiasen. Let's take a look at the penalty.
Here you see Eckelbarger behind the net. Watch number 12. It's Toomey, and he just,
no question,
reached in and hooked him. Toomey off for hooking at 7:51. I finally got a penalty right.
12:09 remaining in the first period. Chris Olson is repairing some equipment, trying to get a strap corrected. 12:09 in the first period, or the fourth period if you put the two games together. And that's what's left, and it's 1-1 tonight, 9-3 in total goals. Pioneers with the 6-goal advantage and the power play. Comes to Dion, trying to set it toward the net, deflected wide. McMillan into the corner, can't get to it. McMillan is shoved hard along the sideboards by Goslin, but it's kept in by Smith to McMillan. McMillan with the drive, that's deflected. Oh, Mathiasen was there. He could have fired it in the open side of the net had he been able to control the bouncing puck, and the Bulldogs will force it out. It goes into the players' bench, the Minnesota Duluth players' bench, and they say face-off, circle right side of Mike Cortez. There's Mike Surdich, the head coach at Duluth. Very disappointed in his team's performance. As you look at Ralph Backstrom, very disappointed in his team performance last night. We'll talk to Mike Surdich between periods 1 and 2. He really felt that obviously they advanced to the semifinal round, and he expected performance at a higher level than he got. Credit the Pioneers for having much to do with that, but by the same token, we saw a Duluth team a few weeks ago that was much better than the team we saw last night.
No question about it, but again, I think you're right. You have to give a lot of credit to the way DU played. That was as fine a hockey game as we've seen them play all year, and we've seen some good ones.
Goslin fires it all the way down. Deep into the zone, ahead of everybody, Toninato. Pioneers trying to get it out to center. They do. Good hit by Mathias on Goslin, and here comes Jim Smith. Smith will dump it into the corner, left side of the cage. Goslin will try to drive it around, and it goes over the glass and out of play. Another sold-out crowd here at the DU Arena, 5,200. Big crowd on hand, and the bleacher creatures very active tonight.
Last night, sellout put the team over the 100,000 mark in attendance, and with tonight's sellout, they are at 106,664 for an average of, believe it or not, 4,444. The Fords are wild.
Into the Pioneer zone, and back for it is Mercier. Pioneers have the man advantage, but they've not been able to set anything up. 59 seconds remaining on that penalty. Back to center. Johnson has it for the Pioneers, trying to get it to Christopoli. DU's really not been doing much with his power play chance. Offside, Pioneers. Weiss took it out of the zone and brought it back in. If the Pioneers can beat Minnesota Duluth this weekend, they will host the WCHA Championship Series next week. 2 more big crowds here at DU, and if things stay the way they've started in Minneapolis, well, it will be the Golden Gophers, perhaps the hottest team in all of college hockey at the moment. Well, they've really played well, and they lead 4-1, 3-goal advantage in their 2-game total goal series that will continue tomorrow afternoon at Mariucci Arena against Wisconsin.
Well, if that's the way it finishes, it's the way it should finish. DU...
we won't talk about your prediction.
No, I won't. Let's don't mention that. But
Mercier with a shot deflected in front. Oh! Christopoli was there. Now Eric Johnson with a drive. That's slowed. Eckelbarger looking for it. But Springer skates it ahead. Well, the Pioneers got a couple of shots there with 13 seconds on the penalty, and it's cleared into the DU zone. Now 10 seconds. The penalty on Sean Toomey. DU trying to get it back into the zone, and they're offside. 4 seconds on the penalty. Let's see, you predicted Wisconsin.
Well, they're only trailing by 3 goals.
That's right.
And there's another game tomorrow.
Right.
But if Minnesota should win it and come here next week for the championship series, that would be right, because DU
finished first
in the league with 50 points. Minnesota finished second with 48, and it's only right that they should meet in the championship final.
Well, it'll be a tough task for the Pioneers if they get to that point against apparently a very hot Minnesota team. Pioneers, though, need to worry about this Duluth team tonight.
And then you would also see the 2 best teams in the WCHA make it into the round of 8 of the NCAA.
Right. If the Pioneers can hang on and win this 2-game series, little doubt they will get into the round of 8 in the NCAAs. They needed to win this weekend series. They haven't done it yet, but if they are able to, there's the crossing pass into the zone. Look out, Toomey drive, missed the net. And it's forced out. We'll get an icing call here. Icing Pioneers. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
You've heard the expression, he or she is one of a kind, when describing a professional athlete or an outstanding person. I'm Gary Kubiak, here to tell you about a one-of-a-kind automobile dealership, Kumpf Lincoln Mercury. Kumpf is outstanding and professional. Whether they are selling you a magnificent Lincoln or Mercury automobile or servicing your car after the sale, buy your next car from Kumpf Lincoln Mercury, South Broadway at Bellevue, and you'll see why their customers say Kumpf is one of a kind.
Finish the point we were making. DU would have been 50-50. If they can't win this series, it's maybe they get into the round of 8. If they win this series, I don't think there's any doubt they would get into the round of 8 in the NCAAs. Taken away, moving toward the net, Cowan. And the Pioneers come back and react to that. Hansen trying to clear it ahead to Matthias, and it's out to center. Christopoli reaches for it, but Brett Hall takes it away. Mercier at center. Mercier to Mayer. Lost it. Cowan. Cowan trying to find some open ice. Gives off to Brett Hall. We will see Brett Hall all over the ice tonight, I suspect. Well, he'll play defense so they can get his big shot from the point, and he'll also be up front. McIver spins it in front of the net, but Mayer is able to dump it into the corner. McIver has it, trying to get it out in the slot area, does, and a shot comes back toward the front of the net. Losing it in his skates was Illikainen. He would have had a good opportunity.
He'd had a great opportunity.
Now Matthiasen trying to get to the puck. He's being held up by Brett Hall. Everybody wants a penalty here at the DU Arena. None called by Dewey Marcus. Brett Hall doing the job defensively, and it's held along the sideboards, that is, for a face-off. 8:36 remaining in this first period tonight. It is 1-1.
I think that was just good defense by Hall.
I agree.
They battled each other down the ice. Really didn't grab him or hold him. It was just 2 guys battling for the puck.
Matthias is out with Hansen and Weiss. Tom Weiss getting the goal tonight for the Pioneers. Smith and Johnson defensively. Again, DU without 2 of their prominent players. Dallas Gom, he's missed his first game this year because of that ankle injury sustained last night. Jeff Lamb because of the injury sustained against Michigan Tech last Sunday. Both are out of the lineup. Quickly up ice. Hansen. That's Tom Hansen for Duluth, and he dumps it into the corner. Cowan trying to deflect it toward the front of the net. Instead, it goes behind, and chasing it on the far side, Matthias gets control of it and will try to work it to the left wing boards, and it's cleared out. Down it comes. We could get an icing call. It's waved off, and back for it is Tom Hansen. Hansen is a freshman, Tom Hansen, and from Hibbing, Minnesota. Matthias will get a penalty. No question about that one. Matthias pulling Scholl down, and he'll go off. Power play chance for Duluth. Let's take a look at the penalty. That was an obvious one, much as was the case the last Duluth penalty.
Here's Scholl, and you see him, he just gets ripped down as Matthias gets the stick up around his shoulder, and Scott was talking to himself going off the ice. He wasn't pleased with himself.
Bad penalty, that one.
No question. Matthias for hooking at 12:05.
So the Bulldogs with the power play chance. Pioneers this year best in the WCHA in killing penalties, allowed the opposition to score just 16% of the time when they had the man advantage. Duluth coming into the weekend series. We'll get you their power play statistics when we get a chance here. The Bulldogs work it ahead, and Skeeter Moore down the left side leaves it off for Brett Hull. Now Moore trying to move in front, jams it toward the net, and Olson makes the save. Dion will try to fire it out of the zone. Can't get it by Goslin. He stands at the line at the left point, and now it's finally kicked across the line by McMillan, so they'll have to get set up again. Power play efficiency, Duluth, very good. And now a whistle. Advancing the puck with a hand. Duluth is now, well, scoring power play goals about 35% of the 36. Let's round it off, 36% of the time. Take a look at the save by Olson. He was certainly one of the main factors for the Pioneers in Friday night's game. Played very well, and there he makes an important stop. 36% of the time, the Bulldogs score the power play goal.
That's pretty amazing.
That is so it's strength against strength, as we said last night. The strength of the Duluth power play unit against the strength of the Pioneer penalty killing unit. 1:26 remaining on Mathiassen's penalty. It is 1-1 tonight. Pioneers with a 9-3 two-game total goal advantage. Around it comes, and Brett Hall can't keep it in. 7:06 in the period. Jim Smith kind of out of control as he moved into the zone or in behind the net. Now Brett Hall looking for the lead pass into the corner with it. Dishes off. McIver has it. McIver will try to get it. They would like to get it to Brett Hall and let him get that shot off. Trying to get it in the middle. That didn't work. Toomey has it. Now McIver trying to send it in front, but it's cleared out.
You know, they've got Hull out at the point, setting up for what you were talking about, but so far they've really just tried to work it down right in front of Olson.
35 seconds on Mathias's penalty.
And DU has been very strong down there.
Toomey trying to work it ahead. Lead pass, that's off the stick of Adnikon, and Gorley will get to it. Adnikon right behind him. McMillan now reaches forward and clears it off the right side and down into the Duluth zone. It comes with 15 seconds on Mathias's penalty. Back into the Pioneer zone it goes. Dion grabs it and will dump it out again. 8 seconds. Pioneers trying to kill off a penalty as it's into the zone with Cowan letting the shot go, and that missed. Penalty is over. Gorley has it. Gorley works it to center. Now into the corner left side of Cortez. Springer has it there, and we have a whistle and an icing charge against the Pioneers. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Skyline Dodge is kicking off 1986 with a sale you can't miss. All 1985 Dodge cars in stock are on sale at 3% under factory invoice, and Dodge trucks are an incredible 5% under invoice, plus up to $1,000 cash back from Chrysler. You see all kinds of over-invoice sales, but the real savings are at Skyline Dodge. 3% under invoice on 85 Dodge cars, 5% under on trucks. Hurry, they won't last long. Skyline Dodge, 750 South Colorado Boulevard, 1 block north of Celebrity Sports Center.
Face-off, left side of Chris Olson. 5:45 in the period. Pioneers have killed off a penalty, and it's tied at 1. Springer with a drive. Saved by Olson. Mayer trying to work it ahead. Weiss does not get to it, and it's controlled by Illikainen, and it's along the end boards now. Got Mathias ahead to Hansen, went off the boards and by him. Kept in by Illikainen. Bulldogs have come out and tried to press play as aggressively as they can in the offensive zone. Got the first goal, and there's a drive, and Olsen will make the save off Illikainen. Pioneers tied it up, and now some problems in front of the net. Tom Weiss steps in. When he steps in,
Tom Weiss steps in and blocks out the sun.
That's right. Let's take a look from above the ice surface.
Oh, I'm going to like this. Here we go.
There's Olsen making the save. Now let's watch the aggressive play in front of that. Here comes Mercier in.
That's Delisle skating in behind or in front there. Mercier shoves him. Then it's Mayer tied up with Tuzano. And finally here that is Christofoli. And then finally it's Weiss who skates in, blocks out the sun, and everybody breaks it up.
That's right. 5:17 remaining in the period. We got got penalties to both teams.
It's Tousignant and Mayer going off.
That's for their aggressive play in front of the net. How about that shot from high above the ice surface here at the DU Arena?
I like it.
Too bad we didn't have that all year, huh?
Yeah, that would have been good.
That's a nice shot from up there.
Yeah, I think, I know you'd be willing to pay for a camera
Kick
to keep
in
it
a
up
penny
there.
or two.
Sure. Tousignant and Mayer off for roughing at 14:43, and you got a good look at why from that overhead camera.
Mathiasen has the puck. Teams are skating for a side. It comes to Smith. In across the line, a drive, and Cortez comes out, cuts off the angle, makes the pad save, and it's back to center ice. Eric Johnson will try to move it ahead, clearing it in. Goslin reaches it. Now as he fires it off the left wing boards, McMillan has it. Into Smith. Smith will be challenged by Odnikon. Quickly in behind the net. Odnikon grabs Smith. The puck left for Eric Johnson. Johnson trying to work it ahead. A penalty coming up against Duluth, I believe, and it'll be against Odnikon as he didn't let go. Odnikon went in behind the net and had his arms wrapped around Jim Smith. And while I was following the puck, I think he just kept hanging on, and eventually Smith went down.
Odnikon has taken over as captain of the Bulldogs, in replacing Matt Christensen, who, of course, had suffered those 2 strokes. Here it is. Odnikon grabbing Johnson.
He's got his arms pretty well around him, right?
Yeah, I would say that's a hold.
Now,
no,
we got to continue it here if we can. I guess we won't, but it's after that that he just wrestles him to the
they're
ice surface.
They're going to call it interference. They could have called it anything.
Yeah, holding.
At 15:20, Odnikon is off, so the Pioneers now will end up with a 4-on-3 situation.
Right. DU not able to do that much the last time they had the power play. They did get a couple of shots off. These teams tied at 1 as Smith has the puck for DU. 4-on-3 advantage. Smith to Dion quickly with the shot. Cortez rebound. Smith can't get to it. Second shot. It's right along the goal post. It's kicked in. It is kicked in. McMillan kicked it in, and you see the goal is waved off. Waved off by Dewey Marcus, and rightly so. It was kicked in. But I'll tell you, the Pioneers had 3 opportunities, and the last time the puck almost went across the line before McMillan was able to get a skate on it, and they really kicked it in, and I think it's a good call.
It is a good call. Watch the puck as it will end up right on the goal line. Here comes the last shot by Mathiasen, and it's right on the goal line, and McMillan, you really can't see it from that angle that well.
It's already in the net.
But we could see it perfectly from our position, and he definitely kicked it in.
Pioneers came close to scoring. Mathiasen's shot just missed from going in.
Well, there were
pressure.
3 excellent shots. I was just about to say this is a dandy 4-on-3 unit for the Pioneers. In Smith, Dion, Mathiasen, and McMillan. You got 4 guys who can skate, and all 4 guys can shoot it.
Mathiasen with the puck. He'll get a shot off, and a save by Cortez. Mathiasen again rips one toward the net. Pioneers lead 9-3 in the 2-game total goal series. It's tied at 1 in this one tonight. 40 seconds remaining on the initial penalties and 1:18 on the penalty to Odnikon. When Tousignant and Mayer come out, the Pioneers will have a 5-on-4 advantage.
Grant Dion skated to the bench to talk things over with the DU coaches, and now he's back out.
McMillan against Skeeter Moore, and Moore wins the draw. Boy, that's important to win those face-offs in that position. Smith keeps it in, though, as he got it from McMillan. Smith moves to the middle, now to McMillan, bouncing puck. McMillan hangs on to it to Smith. He can move in and let his shot go. Then he kind of went soft on it, trying to get it to Mathiasen, and it was knocked down. I think he might have thought, now I should have just taken the shot. Here come the Pioneers back. Jim Smith. Pioneers with a 4-on-3 advantage, trying to get it in front of the net. Into the far corner. Brian Johnson is there. Smith. Now it comes out to Dion. He'll let his shot go. Big save by Cortez. Pressure on by the Pioneers. Cortez has come up big. DU now with a 5-on-4 advantage as the earlier penalties to Tousignant and Mayer are over. Weiss with a drive, and that never got to the net. Kept in by Mercier. He'll let a shot go. That's deflected by Weiss and just missed. Pioneers with a lot of pressure. Now, Johnson to Mercier. Penalties, or 14 seconds left on the penalty to Odnakon. Pioneers with a 5-on-4 advantage could not convert the 4-on-3 opportunity. McIver and Mercier into the zone, and McIver knocks Mercier down. McIver has the puck. Mercier trying to get back up on his skates. McIver centers it. Oh, my goodness, in perfect position. Fishback, and he couldn't control the pass that went between his legs. Mathiasen with a drive. That went off Cortez's glove. Boy, that was a great chance for Fishback in front of the Pioneer net. As McIver worked hard in the corner, right side of the Pioneer cage, got away from Mercier, moved in behind, and sent out a nice pass, but Fishback could not hang on to it.
Puck jumped over his stick, and Fishback was at point-blank range right in front of Chris Olson.
Mathiasen slows it at the line. Here comes Eckelbarger. Toward the net, gloved. Cortez will hang on. We'll pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Most people don't know how strong we women really are. Strong in our convictions and our decisions. Tynan's Nissan Volkswagen Isuzu is one place that knows just what we want. That's why during the Women's Choice Sale at Tynan's, you can have Nissan Sentra's front-wheel drive economy for just $98 a month, or buy a sporty Volkswagen Jetta for just $79.90 plus a 2-year warranty. The Women's Choice Sale means super low prices on what we like best. Only at Tynan's Nissan Volkswagen Isuzu. Oh, men are welcome too.
Play along the sideboards in the Duluth zone. It's held for another face-off. 1:48, that's what's left in period number 1. Or putting the two games together, period number 4. And the Pioneers with a 6-goal advantage, 9-3. We will talk to Mike Sertich after the first period. Also talk to Otto Breitenbach, the commissioner of the WCHA. He is an associate athletic director at Wisconsin, but also serves as the WCHA commissioner. We will talk to him between periods 1 and 2.
Otto's got the kind of name you'd like for your commissioner. You know, like Avery Brundage, Otto Breitenbach.
McMillan can't get to it. Look out. Gorley has to react quickly and try to slow up Brian Johnson. Can't. 2-on-1 developing, but the Pioneers react nicely.
Good play by Derek Mayer, the freshman, as he was right in front and knocked it aside.
Derek Mayer will try to shove it into the corner. Can't get it deep into the corner, but Springer takes it into the corner and is dumped by Menzies. Pioneers with that good forechecking. Onstad comes in. It's kicked free. There's Mathias with the puck. Back to the line. Smith will try to get a shot off. He does. Slowed wide of the target. Pioneers keeping good pressure on now since they had that man advantage opportunity. Keeping the heat on the Bulldogs. Mathias has it. To Mayer, now to Jim Smith. He'll be challenged, and a shot knocked down. Where is it?
It's in the pants.
Somewhere.
It's in the pants of Brian Johnson.
It hasn't been found yet.
There it is.
Oh, there he takes it out.
I told you it was there. It's in his pants. I saw it go in there.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Can you see Scott Mathias' confidence growing every time he comes out? He has played really well.
Series.
Oh yeah.
He came out last night to replace Jeff Lamb and did a fine job. And now the Pioneers without Jeff Lamb and Dallas Gom tonight. By the way, they're missing others as well. Derek Shears and Bruce Hill have been out for some time because of knee injuries. Mike Brown, the Pioneer defenseman, has not played at all this year because of back problems. Chris Gillies, the Pioneer third goaltender, has not played this year either, but with the goaltending of Tom Allen and Chris Olson, he'll get his chance in the future. Cleared into the corner. Mathiasen trying to hold Goslin away from it. Mathiasen and Goslin battle for control of it. Mathiasen will kick it ahead. And now a whistle as the play is blown dead. Dwight Mathiasen was not named as one of the 10 finalists for the Hobie Baker Trophy, Hobie Baker Award, given to the top collegiate hockey player each season. And too bad. I think Mathiasen certainly deserved that recognition to be named to a finalist list because he's had one great year, you know, and he has scored 5 goals in his last 2 games in the playoffs. He, I think, deserved some recognition as far as finalist status in the Hobie Baker run
Well, there are 3 finalists playing here tonight. Dallas, well, Gom is not playing. But the other, if Gom were playing, there would be 3 finalists. Norm McIver, the defenseman for Duluth, one of the finalists, along with Brett Hall of Duluth.
Now Eckelbarger toward the net. He's hit hard on the ice. Comes back to Smith. And that's out of the zone as he sends it to Eric Johnson. Johnson will dump it back in, and they rule intentional offside. That means it'll come down into the Pioneer zone for the face-off with just 6 seconds left in the period. Pioneers with a 9-3 advantage, 6-goal advantage. And again, Mike Sertich trying everything. He will pull Mike Cortez in favor of the extra attacker with 6 seconds left in the face-off in the Pioneer zone. He will leave his net empty. Good idea. And he'll bring out the extra attacker, see if they can win the draw and get a shot on goal with 6 seconds left in the period.
Hey, why not?
Well, he's doing everything he can. He's had Brett Hall at one of the points, trying to get him in a position where he could let his hard shot go. And now he's pulled his goaltender in favor of the extra attacker with 6 seconds remaining in the period. An important face-off, and it'll be Dave Cowan against John McMillan in that circle right side of goaltender Chris Olson.
And McCowan will be trying to pull it straight back to his left side.
Guess who's there?
Brett Hall.
That's right. Hall got the opportunity last night and made good on it. Backhand shot by Hall. I mean, he just flipped it toward the net and missed the target. And that's it. The period is over. Well, the face-off was won by Duluth, but they couldn't get the shot they wanted. And after 1 period, it is 1-1. But more importantly, after 4 periods of play in this 2-game total goal series, the Pioneers lead it 9-3. We'll be back to the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
7.9% financing at Metro Honda, 104th and Federal, one of America's top 5 volume dealers. Low interest rates are just one of the reasons why Metro continues to be a leader. Selection is another. 200 new Hondas are available in March with 7.9% financing. It's your month to buy at Metro Honda, 104th and Federal. The new Metro Oldsmobile Volvo is now open on 104th in Auto City, and coming soon, Yugo and Acura. For the cars you want, the name to remember is Metro.
You can be on television. In fact, your commercial could be airing right now, right here, for your business. Think about it. Thousands of people, your best potential customers, are watching this commercial. They could be watching your commercial on ESPN or MTV.
2 prisoners escaped today by
They could be watching your commercial on any of our shows.
Sounds fascinating.
Tomorrow morning, those same people could be shopping in your store, and you could be making money. Better yet, you can save money right now during our special introductory offer. Because if you advertise with us this month, we'll give you an equal campaign next month, absolutely free. That could come to as little as this much for each commercial. So call this number and we'll tell you how you can be on television.
I'm Norm Jones with Jim Conrad, and the Pioneers have gotten through the first period of tonight's game, and they are in the same position they were as Friday night's game ended, with that 6-goal advantage. So another period has been lost by Duluth. Still 2 periods remaining, but an interesting period. There was no question that Duluth was going to come out and take the play as aggressively as they could to the Pioneers, be as offensive-minded as they possibly could, and they got the first goal. And it really could have developed into a tough situation had they been able to get another one, perhaps, to pull within 4 with a lot of time left. But the Pioneers responded, got that goal back, and then down the stretch, DU taking the play to Duluth. They were not able to score another goal, though.
No, but I thought it was so important for DU to come back after they'd given up the goal early at 1:46 of the first period. That got Duluth really rolling. And I thought it was very important that they come back and get that goal back, to get back to that 6-goal advantage. It's not over yet, but with only 2 periods to go, a major uphill fight for Minnesota Duluth, and particularly for DU playing without Dallas Gom tonight and without Jeff Lamb. We've seen other players come in and take over. Doug Menzies played well last night. Scott Mathias, as we said, just seems to get more and more confident every time he steps out onto the ice, and DU will need that kind of experience and strength off the bench as they go through the NCAA playoffs, so this is probably a good thing for them at this point.
Gom, we thought, was going to come out and play tonight. He, as a matter of fact, injured his ankle during last night's game, came back in the third period, scored a goal, added a couple of assists. He had a whale of a night last night and he thought he could go. But I think the feeling was that with the Pioneers with a big advantage, why take a chance in losing Gom perhaps for the rest of the WCHA playoffs? And that might be very, very much a good idea at this point.
No question about it, because he is so key to this team. But it's nice to see some of the younger players coming out and picking up the slack, and DU has played well.
And it's hoped that Dallas Gom and Jeff Lamb will be around if the Pioneers continue. They're in good shape. They would host the championship series next weekend here at the DU Arena if they win this series. Well, we had a chance to talk to Mike Sertich before tonight's game, the head coach of the Duluth Bulldogs. We did mention last night's game briefly, but we also wanted to get on to some other things with him. This was our conversation. Minnesota Duluth head coach Mike Sertich is with us between periods, and you don't want to dwell on last night's game. We won't dwell on it, except that I will say that the score does not indicate that you're that much worse than the Pioneers, nor that the Pioneers are that much better than Duluth.
Well, it was a strange game for us. It's probably as poor as we played all year with what's at stake. I was really disappointed in our effort.
As you go into game two, it's a situation now where you can come out and go all out. No question, you have to win by 7 as it stands now.
Well, we just got to get close, but I think more importantly, I think that in order for our program, we got to win. And I'm not so sure it's necessary to win the playoff. I'm thinking right now it's just to win the game, because it can be a very big impetus to next year.
Well, you make a good point. You not only talk about next year, but image as it relates to young guys that may be looking at Duluth down the line, that it is important for a program to have success, isn't it?
Well, I think it sells itself. Once you gain that success, I think you found that true here. Yeah. You had it through the 60s and early 70s, and you lost it, and you got it back again. It's not been easy getting it back, so it's kind of refreshing to see you get it back, and I'm glad for you all, and I just wish it was at somebody else's expense, that's all.
Let's talk about the NCAA playoffs now, and of course the WCHA will have 2 representatives this year. You were 1 representative the last 2 years for the WCHA, and as you look at that and you know the strength of this league, and it's been demonstrated this year against Hockey East, is that enough WCHA teams in NCAA play?
Well, I don't think so, Norm. I think that they got to look at it a little differently and get the best 8 teams in there, regardless of the affiliation. I think basketball's taking that step. They're getting the best 64. 29 are guaranteed, and then they're looking at the best 35 after. And I think that's the way you got to go. Unfortunately, some of the higher aboves don't think that way. But I think there's 5 or 6 teams in our league that would be very good representatives. And I think that, unfortunately, only 2 are going to be able to go. But don't discount North Dakota. You know, they're a pretty darn good team. I think we're a pretty darn good team. I think the loser of that Minnesota-Wisconsin series is a pretty darn good team. There are some teams that I think that would do very well. Unfortunately, only 2 can go.
Will it change, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the hockey being a non-revenue sport that it really is, I don't think they can afford to go much more than the 8 teams that they are already. And it's such a regional thing. You know, if it drew, maybe a television package would be the answer, but it really doesn't. And you know, you get outside of Massachusetts and in the Midwest, and here hockey's not very well followed.
Let's move to high school hockey, and I know the playoffs are gearing up and really in process now in the state of Minnesota. And a lot of people here don't understand just how important those playoffs are. I had a chance a couple of years ago to watch high school playoffs games in Duluth. It's incredible.
Well, it really is. The state tournament is going on right now, and there'll be over 110,000 people that will watch hockey in 3 days in St. Paul. You know, it's not much different than Indiana basketball or Texas football or California baseball. Or it is a big thing in Minnesota. And there was this on CBS tonight. There was a thing, 5 minutes splash on high school hockey. It's feverish. There's no question. And when you look at the success of the hockey programs, you know, like in 1980, 12 of those kids were from Minnesota. The coaches from Minnesota. The staff was from Minnesota. Most of the recruiting's done in Minnesota right now, Massachusetts. I think that it's feverish. There's no question. It is something that really is catchy.
And if you get a chance, you really ought to watch it sometime. That's Mike Sertich. We'll be back to the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
No way to keep those four.
Ah, you're crazy. Just making sure he's facing the camera.
Testing. 1.
The hottest concert ticket ever.
Wait a minute, I know I'm on the list. Right.
Did you see that movie?
There's only one movie this year. See this one.
The big fight, the big concert, the big movie. If you can't be there, we will. Nobody brings it home like HBO.
Sure, trailing suspects through back streets and dark alleys is dangerous work, but it's worth it. Because after cracking a tough case, I open one of these, a light beer from Miller. After tracking down hot leads all day, a cold light sure tastes great. And light's less filling, too, with a third less calories than their regular beer. And you can't afford to get filled up in this line of work.
Rossini.
Good news, lady. Found your dog.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Where's he going?
Safeway, when you don't have time to wait in line.
1-1 after the first period tonight. Pioneers lead 9-3 in the total goals set up, so DU in good shape as they look ahead to the second period. Only 4 penalties called in last night's game. Pioneers really played well, but it was an up-and-down game and moved by very quickly and very entertaining. More penalties so far in this one. DeLisle went off for interference at 3:14 of the period. Then Grant Dion for hooking at 3:46 of the first period. At 7:51, Toomey for hooking. Then Matthias for hooking, along with Tuzno. They each went off. Actually, Matthias went off for hooking at 12:05, and Tuzno for the Bulldogs for roughing at 14:43. Mayer also off for roughing at 14:43. Odnikon at 15:20, 2-minute minor for interference. So overall, 3 minor penalties to the Pioneers, 6 minutes. 4 minor penalties to Duluth, 8 minutes in the game so far. No power play goals scored tonight. Pioneers had 1 power play goal last night. Specialty teams have not been a factor in this weekend series.
No, they sure haven't. You would expect, though, that they would be, especially with Duluth having that excellent power play, but it's going up against DU's strength, which is killing penalties. So from that sense, maybe DU's specialty teams have come out on top.
Otto Breitenbach is the commissioner of the WCHA, and he is certainly pleased with what has developed this year in the league, the closeness of play, the dominance over Hockey East. We had an opportunity to talk to the commissioner. Otto Breitenbach, the commissioner of the WCHA, is with us. And Otto, first of all, welcome to Denver. We have arrived at the end of the season. We're in the WCHA playoffs, but it's been a magnificent season.
It certainly has. And first of all, our congratulations from the entire league to Denver. I can't say enough for the way they've hung in there. When the pressure was on so many times during the course of the year, they always seem to come through. And they are truly great champions for this season.
Well, let's talk about the WCHA for just a moment, and that is that the balance this year proved to be very, very solid. And even when you consider going into the first weekend of playoff hockey and even into the last weekend of regular season play, teams that were in the lower part of the league could have made a whale of a difference in the upper part of the league as far as standings.
Well, there's no question about that. And, of course, we all felt the impact of that last week. There were some great series in that first round, but I think it's a credit to the quality of the programs in the WCHA. And, of course, I'm not going to hesitate to boast a little bit. We feel we fared quite well with the East this year and also in our other non-conference games. And I'm very proud of the role that our coaches and players have taken during the season.
And speaking of the Hockey East interlocking schedule, indeed, the WCHA dominated things, I think we could say. But as you looked over the last 2 years and the interlocking schedule, pleased with it?
Yes, very much so. I don't think that there's any doubt that it's been great for ice hockey in general. I think it has given us a great deal of exposure in the media. amongst ice hockey fans throughout the entire nation, on the East Coast specifically. And I think the Alliance certainly took us out of a problem, a 6-team league as it was. Later on, we got Northern and Tech to join us, but it was good for us. It's continuing to be good for us, and I see us continuing in some format throughout several years to come.
And obviously, it'll be nice, though, to get into a situation where everybody plays everybody else in the WCHA in a home-and-home basis.
That's what comes next year, as you know. We're going to play the double round robin. Everybody will have the home-and-home. I know Jeff Sauer was disappointed not to be able to come to Denver this year, as many of the others were. And a unique situation in that we'll play the Hockey East schools 1 game apiece, and they will count towards the standings. So we'll have 70 points towards that championship, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And finally, the WCHA has not won the national championship the last couple of years. A lot of hope that will happen this year.
Well, I'm certainly hoping so, but I'm a little disappointed yet in the way they select the tournament field. With the teams that we have in this league, I think it's a little bit unfair that only 2 of them can possibly go. And I think that there are some candidates that are going to be left home that could win that national title. But I know the 2 that will go will give it a great shot, and I'm going to put my hopes on them. Let's put it that way.
Otto Breitenbach, the commissioner of the WCHA, has been with us. We are at the DU Arena. This is the WCHA playoffs.
Most people don't know how strong we women really are. Strong in our convictions and our decisions. Tynan's Nissan, Volkswagen, Isuzu is one place that knows just what we want. That's why during the Women's Choice Sale at Tynan's, you can have Nissan Sentra's front-wheel drive economy for just $98 a month, or buy a sporty Volkswagen Jetta for just $79.90 plus a 2-year warranty. The Women's Choice Sale means super low prices on what we like best. Only at Tynan's Nissan, Volkswagen, Isuzu. Oh, men are welcome too.
Get ready for summer fun at Suntrack Suzuki. Suntrack has the new 750 GSXR. It's hot, it's fast, it's the ultimate sport bike. Suntrack has the 1400cc Cavalcade, the industry leader in tourers. Suntrack has 4-wheelers for work, for play, for the whole family. And you'll find many prior year's models with savings of up to $1,000 at Suntrack. Suntrack Suzuki, 55th and Wadsworth in Arvada, just north of I-70.
Once upon a time, there was a young man who was very, very smart. Even so, there were some things he didn't know, like how much life insurance should he have to protect his family, and what kind. But, as we said, he was very, very smart. He asked a New York life agent, and he had the answers. So even if you're very smart, you may not know all you should about life insurance. But if you're very, very smart, you'll know who to ask. The Ask Me agents from New York Life. Go ahead, ask.
And it was Minnesota Duluth jumping out first in the first period as Dan Tousineau will get the puck from Springer. Right here, it comes out to Tousineau, the quick shot, and it beats Chris Olson. It was 1-0 Minnesota Duluth at that point. That goal coming at 1:46, Tousineau's first of the season. DU came back to tie it on Tom Weiss's goal, his 20th of the year, from Gorley and Mathias at 6:06. And that's where we stand, 1-1. DU against Minnesota Duluth. And here is Weiss's goal, as you'll see the puck eventually end up out in front right there on the rebound. Weiss came in and slapped it in as Gorley's slap shot was rebounded out. Came right to Weiss, who was right at the doorstep, and he pushed it by Cortez.
Much more evenly played period. When you look at the shooting statistics, we'll have an opportunity to do that, but the Pioneers lead at 9-3 as we're underway, and we'll talk about those shooting statistics when we get a chance. Pioneers with the puck in the zone, and it'll come to Eric Johnson. He scored last night. Drive, that got through everybody. 2 saves for Cortez. He'll hang on.
The rebound came out, and then Christophily slapped it towards the net, but Cortez was able to make the stop and force the faceoff. Shooting statistics in the first period, DU outshot Minnesota Duluth 26-17. Shots on target 12-9 in favor of DU. Cortez had to make 11 stops while Olson made 8 saves, and of course it was a 1-1 hockey game after 1 period. Still is.
We'll look at the individual shooting statistics when we have a moment as the Duluth Bulldogs win the face-off. And at center, it's Sean Toomey. Gives it off and dumping it into the Pioneer end is Scholl. Back toward the net it goes, off the stick of Brian Johnson. Gorley in behind the cage. Gorley trying to work it ahead. Picked off by Hansen, can't get it out of the zone. Now Grant Dion looking to give off a headman pass, misfires. The Bulldogs have control of it. And it is Toomey. Dump back in on Olson. Clears that to Dion. Dion shoves it ahead. Now he'll get another chance to send it into the zone. They rule offside, Pioneers.
Individually in the first period, Jim Smith with 6 shots to lead the Pioneers, along with Tom Weiss, who had 6.
He is firing away this weekend, Jim Smith.
And Grant Dion with 4, so 2 of the defensemen leaders in shots in the first period. Mercier, Mathiasen, McMillan all with 2, and then Eckelbarger, Onstad, Christoffoli, Gorley, Mathias, and Johnson with 1.
And we'll give you the Bulldogs shooting statistics in just a moment as it's Illikainen down the right side, watched by Mayer. Into the corner they go. Illikainen trying to work it out, and it's cleared out by the Pioneers. No icing, they rule that and wave that off.
Hull led the Bulldogs in shooting with 3 in the first period. Toomey, Tuzano, Moore, Toninato, Illikainen, and Springer all with 2 apiece, and then Cowan and Odnikon with 1 each.
Pioneers have it in their own zone, poked off the stick of Eric Johnson. Don Mercier around to John McMillan. He's hit hard as Hansen pinches in. Pioneers lead at 9-3 in the total goal series. We're into the second period, and it's held for a face-off. Pioneers need to stay even. That would be the goal, at the very least.
You'll hear Grant Dion in our conversation coming up between the second and third periods, and he just said that DU's goal tonight was go out and win and then not worry.
Yeah, well, I think that's the way you've got to play it, because they have played so well. Last game against Michigan Tech last weekend, that second game of the 2-game series. Last night against Duluth. Keep the momentum in your favor. Keep playing that style of play. Keep the aggressive play in your favor, and that'll lead into hopefully a strong performance in the final series next weekend. McIver moves it toward the net. Big save. Right in front was Fishback. He's been there twice tonight. That time Olson stopped him, and it'll be cleared out, but not out of the zone. Cleared to the line. Now it's kicked out. Hansen has it. Hansen trying to fire it in. It comes to Christoffoli. Christoffoli looking to get it to Mathiasen, who took a slap at it. Kept in at the line. Shot by Jim Smith. Gloved Cortez. Dug free. McIver pushes it ahead. Comes to Jim Smith. Smith will keep it in momentarily. Now McIver takes charge. Good skating ability by Norm McIver as he brings it to the line. McIver, one of those candidates for the Hobie Baker Trophy and award, and we'll give you those candidates when we have a chance. Here comes Dion up the left side. Dion trying to get a shot off. That's knocked down. Pioneers trying to change lead pass. McIver, breakaway, moves in, goal. McIver has scored. We just got finished talking about him, and it's now 2-1 Duluth. They're back within 5 of the Pioneers.
Well, that's not what you want, but again, DU with that cushion. And watch Norm McIver, a dandy move by McIver as he will get the puck ahead of the pack all by himself. Watch now as he goes, really didn't deke too much, just went to his right and backhanded it past Chris Olson. Now watch him. I think Olson thought he was going to give him a good fake. He gave him a little one, and then went right to his right and backhanded it past Olson.
Again, time for the Pioneers to be careful. Don't let the Bulldogs get another goal that would give them strong, at least a strong momentum, you would think. There's Weiss's shot, and it'll be gloved, and we'll have a face-off. Springer at it again for the Bulldogs.
This time with Mathias.
And there's Weiss stepping in again.
Weiss shoving along with Johnston. McIver, that was his 11th goal of the season from DeAngelis at 2:51.
16:52 remaining second period. It's 2-1 in this game, Minnesota Duluth. Pioneers, though, lead 9-4 overall in the 5-goal advantage. Face-off left side of Cortez. Let's see if the Pioneers can get that goal back as they did the earlier goal. Duluth has not trailed this second night. They led 1-0. Pioneers tied it at 1. Now they lead 2-1. Pioneers would be important for them to get that one back. Face-off. DU struggling for control of it. Eckelbarger will shove it to the end boards and chase it down. Eckelbarger in a collision along the end boards. Mercier pinches well into the zone. Bulldogs work it around and up the left side, but comes off the boards in funny fashion. McMillan in front trying to work around and get a shot off Eckelbarger. He can. Here come the Bulldogs. Up the right side, Adnakan. Adnakan trying to send it toward Olsen. That was slowed, and Weiss will whip it around the boards. Goslin drills McMillan, but the puck comes out to center. McMillan took a hard hit from Goslin there. Now it's Mayer into the zone. Mayer trying to get it in the middle. The Weiss shot. Oh, quick shot by Tommy Weiss. And that shot, the second one, went off the side of the net. Weiss centers it. Menzies is there. Can't get a shot off. Mercier moves in. Centers it. Weiss turns, finds the puck. Shot knocked down by Goslin. Tommy Weiss, another close opportunity. He scored the earlier Pioneer goal and is dumped into the DU zone.
Weiss had 3 shots in that opportunity.
McMillan controls it and works ahead. McMillan in across the line. Lead pass. Menzies can't hang on to it. Menzies had it on his stick but couldn't control the pass, and it's cleared all the way down. We'll have an icing call against Duluth. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
You know, I don't like being disappointed. Why, one time we lost a big game and I felt so bad, I sawed my car in half. That's why they call me Hacksaw. But now I take it easy and I drink light beer from Miller. Light has 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling. And the taste never lets me down. Hey, how about another light beer?
Sorry, Hacksaw, we just ran out.
Boy, that's very disappointing.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Face-off left side of the Duluth cage. Pioneers trail in this one 2-1, but lead the total goal series 9-4. Want to advance to the championship series. If they beat Duluth this weekend, the Pioneers will host the championship series next weekend. Back for it is Eric Johnson. Johnson trying to work it ahead. Confusion for a moment. Now Mathiasen takes charge. Drive! And knocked it down Cortez, but he can't, as he shovels it ahead, the Dogs can't clear it out of the zone, and it's in the corner left of the net.
The Dogs, I like that.
Yeah. Now players on the puck, and we'll have a face-off. Next week, if the Pioneers beat Duluth, they will host the winner of the other 2-game total goal series between Wisconsin and Minnesota. Minnesota this afternoon ran out to a 3-goal advantage at 4-1, and we would expect large crowds here at the DU Arena next weekend. Let's take a look at the work by Cortez.
Here's McMillan. And the pass to Menzies. Menzies had it on his stick momentarily, but it was a tough pass to handle.
Right.
And he just couldn't get it there. If he'd have controlled it, would have been a nice opportunity against Cortez.
Weiss moves out of the zone, puts it in the center ice face-off circle for Hansen, but Hansen can't get to the puck. Now the Pioneers fire it in, and we have an offside charged against DU. Next week, if the Pioneers do host the championship round, if you can't be here at the DU Arena, well, we will bring it to you Friday night, 7:30, Mile High Channel 3, United Channel 18. That's next Friday, Mile High Channel 3, United Channel 18. Next Saturday, a bit of a change. It'll be Mile High Channel 3 on Saturday night, but United Channel 26. Shot at goal!
No.
That's a tough one. Olsen let it get by him, and all of a sudden the Bulldogs have scored 2 unanswered goals. This is not over.
That was from DeAngelis, outside the blue line. That's the one you don't want to see.
That's right, and it's just a 4-goal advantage now. With a lot of time left, the Pioneers need to be very, very careful now.
Take a look as Olsen very upset with himself after letting this one in. The slap shot outside the blue line. Olsen got it, but then lost it. Hard to tell from there, but It just dribbled in behind him.
You're right. That's the kind of goal you don't want to give up. The Pioneers give up a soft goal. Chris Olson has played so very well, but that's a soft one. And let's see what Duluth, how they react to it. DU must be very careful now. This is certainly not one yet. It's a 4-goal advantage with a period and a half, better than a period and a half remaining.
Well, now they say it was Hull. I thought it was DeAngelis who took the shot.
Here's Skeeter Moore.
Hull, his 52nd goal from Johnson and Odnikon at 5:23.
Whoever it was a soft goal, and the Pioneers clear it out, and we'll get an icing call here against DU. Maybe we'll get a chance to look at it again, but it was a soft goal.
I'd like to see it again because I thought it was number 28 rather than 29.
The Pioneers lead by 4 goals now. It is 9-5 in the total goal series. They have been outscored tonight 3-1, the Pioneers have. They're playing without Jeff Lamb, without Dallas Gom. Part of the strength of the Pioneers, the center ice position, 2/3 of that strength not in the game tonight. Pioneers need to stiffen up. Christoffoli trying to work it ahead. Cleared out of the zone, and down it goes. Goslin will get to it, Mathiasen right behind him. Round it comes to Eckelbarger. Now Mathiasen steps in. Christoffoli comes over. Puck worked ahead. Odnikon can't bring it ahead, and now Christoffoli's bumped to the ice. Was able to get enough of it and force it to the end board. A lot of time left. 13 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the second period. With the third period to come, it's held for a face-off. And that'll come left side of Cortez. I'll tell you, earlier in this period, Tom Weiss had a great scoring chance. Before that, another great opportunity. And the Pioneers not able to score, but the Bulldogs have come back and have scored now 2 unanswered goals to lead it 3-1, and they're chipping away. That's the idea. Duluth just wants to chip away, and they may find themselves in a position with the time remaining where they can get back into the series. What a turnaround that would be. Pioneers more and more now need that next goal. And it's out to center by Cowan into the zone. Cowan checked by Johnson. Along the end boards, Delisle is there. Delisle down on the ice. Smith trips over him. Smith trying to get up and get to the puck in the corner. Delisle trying to kick it free. It goes to Weiss. Weiss will flip it around and up the left side. Hansen looking for it. Hansen decides to take the body. That is to deliver a hit on DeAngelis, and now the puck in the corner left of Chris Olson. Look out. Shot wide of the target. Taken by Illikainen. Well, the Pioneers came out of the first period in the same position that they ended Friday night's game. A 6-goal advantage. Now they're charged with icing. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Metro Oldsmobile sets the pace in March. 1% over invoice on 86 Oldsmobiles, plus 9.9% financing from General Motors. Metro is out to be the biggest Olds dealer in the Rockies. We've got selection, service, and now we've got 1% over invoice available, plus 9.9% financing. It all adds up to the best Oldsmobile deal in town at Metro Oldsmobile Volvo on 104th. The new Metro Honda is now open on 104th in Auto City, and coming soon, Yugo and Acura. For the cars you want, the name to remember is Metro.
Pioneers bring it to center. McMillan into the zone. Nice centering pass. Shot. Save Cortez. Loose puck. That missed the net. From a tough angle. Trying to jam it in was Menzies. He couldn't get enough angle on it, and it's all the way down into the DU zone. Icing charged against the Bulldogs, I believe. No, a whistle. Cortez has lost his headgear and is out of the net. Has been stunned, apparently. What a save by Cortez. He comes up big when he has to, as the Pioneers looking to get a goal, but he came up with a big stop.
Watch McMillan as he centers it. That's Derek Mayer right there. Got it to Menzies. There's the big save. Now watch as the puck will get loose again. Here's McMillan. It'll come to the side. Menzies right there across the goal mouth. If somebody had been standing there, it would have been an easy one. Look at this. Here's Cortez, the first save off Menzies. What a save that was. then the puck will get loose. See it right there.
McMillan will send it to Menzies. We will not see that, but McMillan again got it to Menzies, who had a tough angle. He did the best he could, but it slipped across the front of the net and not in. It's back into the zone.
Well, I'm sure Menzies' idea was just toss it across in there, hope it bounces off somebody into the net, even off the goaltender.
Duluth has scored 2 unanswered goals. They lead this game 3-1, and they pulled within 4 goals of the Pioneers. The Pioneers began the game tonight leading by 6 goals. 11:45 remaining second period. Well, this could go right down to the wire. Onstad at center. Mike Sertic very unhappy with his team's performance last night, but here comes Mathiasen with a breakaway. Needs the goal. Cortez comes up big.
My goodness.
Boy, did the Pioneers need that goal, and Cortez doing the job as Chris Olsen did last night. Hull with a drive well wide of the target. Boy, I'll tell you, get that kind of goaltending, and that can cause problems. Mathiasen had a breakaway and couldn't get it by Cortez. Into the zone. Cowan. Mayer after it. That's the kind of save that can turn a game around. If Duluth can come back and score another one, they're in great shape. After Mathiasen was stopped, and we have an offside at the line.
Take a look at this one. We'll look at this one from overhead as Mathiasen came off the bench and found the puck right there, broke in all alone. He tries to go to the around Cortez, but you saw Cortez get the leg out and make the stop. What a save.
Well, I was saying that Mike Sertic was not happy at all, and you heard him talk about his team. He said, we really need to win tonight's game, even if we don't win the series, to bring back some respectability after their game last night against the Pioneers, at least from their viewpoint. Credit the Pioneers with a great effort. Forced it toward the net. Look out. Loose puck. That's dangerous, but Mayer finally gains control of it. To Hansen, leading the rush to center. In across the line, he's checked. Into the zone, Cowan. Mayer back. Cowan trying to give it off to somebody. Goslin will let a shot go. That missed the target. Trying to jam it in. Olsen hanging on to the left post as Cowan could not hang, or jam it in rather, and it's cleared out to center. Picked up there by Mathias. 2-on-1 if he hurries. Mathias into the zone. Nice pass. Shot, goal, Hansen. David Hansen from Mathias. What a big goal that one is.
The freshman walk-on, Scott Mathias, doing his imitation of Dallas Gom. What's this? As he'll take it in 2-on-1. He's got Hansen there. There's the feed. And Hansen goes up over the top as they beat Jadostin on defense. Jadostin went down, but Mathias slid it across perfectly to Hansen. Here's the other look at it. Hansen wide open, just lifts it up over Cortez, and they have cut the lead back to 1, 3-2, but in all actuality, it's a 10-4 lead.
Back to a 5-goal advantage. 10-5.
10-5, excuse me.
Tough to keep those numbers straight when you're talking about 2 nights, but it is back to a 5-goal advantage.
Hansen, his 9th of the season from Mathias and Weiss at 9:35.
Did you see the speed Mathias demonstrated? Here's the Pioneers again. It comes to the line. Perfect position in front of the net. Now Smith loses control of it, and it's out of the zone. Back to Eric Johnson. Mathias, was he ever motoring when he crossed the line with that puck? He was flying. And that kind of speed will cause all kinds of problems for the opposition, as it did there. Big goal for the Pioneers. Hansen, that's Tom Hansen for Duluth. Lead pass shot. Olsen makes the save off the shot by Ilikainen. Kept in by Hansen. Now they rule puck out of play. We'll have a face-off. Let's pause here from the D Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs. And we will not pause. We stay with you. 9:38 remaining in the period. It's 3-2. Duluth leading, but overall 10-5. Total goal advantage for the Pioneers. Pioneers will not know if they're able to win this series, who the opposition will be next weekend. That will be decided tomorrow afternoon at Mariucci Arena in Minneapolis between the Gophers and the Badgers of Wisconsin. Out to center, McIver has it. McIver has to hold to allow everybody to get out of the zone, and it's poked further into the Duluth end. Back they come, though. Skeeter Moore trying to find it. Look at Olsen dive for the puck, cleared it ahead, but not out of the zone. Has to scramble back. Moore in the corner, left side of the Pioneer cage. Now Christoffoli trying to send it to the end board. Smith comes in to control the loose puck. Lead pass, and that went off Brett Hall, and Out of play. Puck out of play. As you see the Pioneers changing up.
Scott Matthias now with a goal and 2 assists in the last 2 games in place of Jeff Lamb. That is a dandy effort for a guy who is a walk-on freshman.
He has played well for the Pioneers this weekend. Matthias will take the face off, and he wins the draw to Dion. Dion gets it over to Gorley.
I'll tell you what, he is doing everything, Norm.
Yep. And it's Hansen who works it toward the end boards and chases it down. Trying to clear it in front. It goes off the back of the cage. Lead pass, Odnikon on the left side, banks it off to the sideboards. Matthias back for it. Matthias is all over the ice. Now it comes to Brett Hall. He's looking for open ice, trying to find some room to get that shot off, that big shot. Crossing pass, oh, close call. Dion came over to challenge Toomey, but he is back to the puck. Now it's back in front of the net. That time, it was Brian Johnson trying to get a handle on it. It's cleared down, and we'll have an icing call. Icing against the Pioneers as they take the heat off. Well, you could see Brett Hall just a moment ago trying to find some open ice. He wants to get that puck on the ice flat and then wind up and let it fly. But it really worked out quite nicely as Duluth worked it in front of the net, and the puck came across the front of the net. Grant Dion with his back to the puck, so he didn't see it come across.
That was Hall getting across to Sean Toomey as Toomey was skating right in on Olsen. And you're right, Dion didn't see it.
Dion, it's like a defensive back in football. If he doesn't know where the ball is, or if you don't know where the puck is, it's tough to defend against it, regardless if you're closing on the opposition. And that time, Dion could not see the puck come across in front of the net, and he was trying to get over to Toomey. Toomey got a shot off. Mayer has it now for DU. To Menzies. Menzies loses it. Never brought it ahead to Lyle. Oh, Tuzano gets knocked to the ice. Now it's controlled by Lekanen. Mercier is leveled. Puck in the corner. Working in behind the cage and trying to force it in front was Lekanen. Pioneers have it though. Mercier up to Menzies. Skating too far, so it was picked off and it's back into the DUN. 7:40 remaining in this period. Now Mercier for DU to the red line. He'll let a shot go. Save. Olsen well out of the net to pick up a loose glove in the slot area. Not a bad idea. If a puck goes off of that, it could change direction, and Olsen had a chance to get out and work and get the puck free. Comes to Skeeter Moore in the slot area. He's knocked out. Pioneers 2-on-1 if they hurry. Onstad with Christofoli. Pass to Christofoli. Moves in, backhand shot. Rebound. Save. Cortez there for both. And Brett Hall will come the other way. Brett Hall trying to wind up and get a shot off. He can't. He's checked by Jim Smith. Pass to Matthias and went off him back into the Pioneer zone. Now Eckelbarger leads the rush. Eckelbarger dumped to the ice, can't get a shot off, and it's held. We'll have a face-off. Let's pause here from the D Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Skyline Dodge is kicking off 1986 with a sale you can't miss. All 1985 Dodge cars in stock are on sale at 3% under factory invoice, and Dodge trucks are an incredible 5% under invoice, plus up to $1,000 cash back from Chrysler. You see all kinds of over-invoice sales, but the real savings are at Skyline Dodge. 3% under invoice on 85 Dodge cars, 5% under on trucks. Hurry, they won't last long. Skyline Dodge, 750 South Colorado Boulevard, 1 block north of Celebrity Sports Center.
Face-off, left side of Mike Cortez. That's his glove side. Pioneers trail 3-2 in this game, but overall lead the total goal series 10-5. Comes to Johnson. Johnson to Smith, does a nice job to keep it in the zone, then trying to get a shot off. It was knocked down. Knocked down by Toomey. Bulldogs work it ahead. Odnikon into the zone, moves to the middle. Somebody's got to get on him, gives it to Goslin. His shot missed the target. Christofoli controlling the bouncing puck, brings it to center. Christofoli in across the line. Nice move, but then he can't get to it as he reached for it. Toomey came across.
Hey, Christofoli's playing a lot better too.
And Christofoli has it behind the net. Trying to get it to Matthias, spinning around to get a shot off. Can't. Back come the Bulldogs. In across the line, offside. Odnikon and Toomey got confused. Toomey was waiting for the puck from Odnikon, never got it. As a result, they're offside. We'll have a face-off. There's Ron Graham, the associate coach of the Pioneers. Jim Conrad will talk to head coach Ralph Backstrom after this period. And also a conversation with Pioneer captain Grant Dion. 6:17 remaining in the period.
The biker.
Yep. We'll try to get you those Hobie Baker candidates in case you missed it when we get an opportunity. And we will actually show them to you a little bit later in the game. Beginning of the third period. Kept in the zone. Now it's Gorley. To Matthias, can't reach it. Dion has it. He'll dump it in. Hard off the end boards.
Gorley was like a quarterback standing in the pocket, taking a hit to deliver a pass on that one to get it out of the zone.
Gorley's shot that time controlled long before it got to the cage. Springer feeds it right side. There's a shot, missed the target off Toninato's stick. Another drive, and that missed. That one by Brett Hall. Brett Hall has a lot of velocity on both his wrist shot and his slap shot. He can let it fly from either position. Into the zone again. DeAngelis with a drive. That one off Mercier. Onstad back for it. Onstad to Mercier. Mercier at the red line to Onstad. Drive, glove save. Cortez hangs on. We'll have a face-off. 5:09 remaining in the period.
Good save by Cortez on that one because he was going the other way and had to come back to make the glove save.
Pioneers have had 3 players commit to play here next year.
And one of them is the son of head coach Herb Brooks, who just committed a couple days ago. His name is Danny Brooks.
Herb Brooks, of course, the coach of the 1980 gold medal winning USA hockey team.
And son Danny is a big boy, 6'3", 210. And I am told that he still can add a few more pounds to that big frame.
A couple of others have verbally committed to the Pioneers as well. DU loses 8 plus perhaps 9 if Mathiasen decides to turn pro.
Dave Shields is the high-scoring center from Penticton, British Columbia, who committed several weeks, back a couple of months ago. And
shot that bangs off the boards.
The other player to commit is Eric Morano from Calgary. He's a center and a right winger, 6 feet, 190 pounds.
And we have a whistle. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
We'll beat the pants off any deal. Dodge City.
Whoa out there, partner. Could you run that by me again a little slower?
Oh, here it comes again. Will you keep Look out. Moving? Get out of my way. Catching up with all of us. Can't you see it? Wipe us right out. Keep going. Keep going.
We'll beat the pants off any deal. Dodge City.
Face off just outside the Bulldogs blue line. 4:51 in the period. That will wrap up 5 periods of play, and the Pioneers are offside. We will have the 6th and final period ahead of us in this 2-game total goal series that the Pioneers lead 10-5. And the Bulldogs have control of it. McIver trying to work his way in front of the net. Olsen does the smart thing, just deflects it into the corner. Adnakan, crossing pass, interrupted by Mathiasen, and as a result, Toomey couldn't get a control of the puck. Here comes Eckelbarger. Leaves it off for Christoffoli. His shot bounces high in the air as it was deflected. Mercier works in, and he's dumped. Adnakan is checked. Good job by Mathiasen. And it's held for a face-off. This is game number 97 between these two teams. They've played 96 times previously. Pioneers with 59 victories to 34 for Duluth, and 3 games have ended in a tie. Pioneers played Duluth just twice this regular season, and they split here at the DU Arena. Pioneers winning 4-2 on January 31st, but losing 4-3 on February 1st. So this is the 4th game between these two teams this year. That because of the cluster schedule. Duluth in the other cluster this year, so the Pioneers only saw them twice in regular season. That will change next year, of course. everybody in the league will play 2-game home-and-home series next year. Offside Duluth at the Pioneer line. And then, of course, we'll play against Hockey East opponents 1 time next year. We'll play 1 game against each of the 7 Hockey East opponents. That's true of every team in the WCHA. And then play each other home-and-home 2-game series. Don't want to think about next year too long, though, as this season is building to what could be a tremendous finish for the Pioneers. Cleared in, icing, DU. So the face-off in the circle left side or glove side of Chris Olson.
I think the Pioneers would rather concentrate on what's ahead in the next few weeks.
You bet. If they win this series, they will host the WCHA Championship Series. If they would win the Championship Series, they would host games when the NCAA starts with the 8 teams that will lead to the Final 4. If they would lose the Championship Series, the Pioneers would be on the road most likely. No question, they would be on the road for the round of 8.
On the road to Providence, where the semifinals and finals will be played.
DU, if they can win the series against Duluth, would be in great shape to get at least an at-large bid. Toomey into the zone, and now it comes to Weiss. Weiss is checked by Skeeter Moore. Puck is kept in. Smith chasing it down. Back into the face-off circle. Skeeter Moore trying to feed it in front of the net. Waiting for the puck, Toomey. Johnson is down on the puck as Skeeter Moore and Johnson were down, and Johnson on top of Skeeter Moore, and Skeeter gets up and is unhappy about it, but it was a good play by Johnson. Pin Skeeter Moore along the ice and make sure the puck doesn't move, because Duluth was beginning to work it into a good shooting position.
Well, watch Skeeter Moore, number 20. He has a pretty decent opportunity here, but Eric Johnson, here comes Moore. First, Eric Johnson blocks the shot, and then when Moore goes after it, Johnson just hangs on to him and takes him to the ice.
I think Skeeter said he's hanging on to me, he's holding.
Well, he was.
Johnson does the job defensively as no penalty was called.
The trick is to make it look like you're not holding.
Pioneers win the draw, and Dion has it. And we have a whistle.
And in that case, I don't think Johnson was obviously holding.
Well, a penalty coming up. Right after the face-off.
It's on Duluth.
It's on Skeeter Moore. He was unhappy with Eric Johnson's play earlier, and now Skeeter retaliates. As you look at Mike Sertich, the head coach of the Bulldogs, Skeeter Moore very unhappy. It went over after Johnson and Moore got tied up. Skeeter went over to talk to Dewey Marcus, the referee, didn't get the call, and then after the face-off, Skeeter Moore sent to the penalty box.
Not a smart play by Skeeter as he goes off for tripping at 16:33.
As you said, he probably had a case, but that's no reason to come back and put your team at a disadvantage when you're trying to get back into the 2-game total goal series.
Doesn't make any sense.
Now Smith. Pioneers with a man advantage. Only 1 power play goal has been scored all weekend. That was by DU last night. Pioneers would like to get one here and get those 2 unanswered goals back. That they've gotten 1 of them back. Mathiasen is knocked down. Adnakan in behind the net. Now reverses, comes to the side of the net, and Cortez will hang on to it. And now McIver and McMillan chat with each other. 3:01 remaining in the period. If DU could get a power play goal here, they'd get back to that 6-goal advantage.
Watch now, Mathiasen goes down. Now Adnakan, number 27 there, gets control, but watch, he almost puts it in the net.
Well, that just shows you that a goaltender has to be alert at all times, when the puck, particularly when the puck is in your zone, because had he been not alert there, it might have slipped by him. Pioneers can't keep it in the zone, they're offside.
Yeah, even when your own team has it, you got to be careful.
Next Friday, we'll be with you at 7:30 on Mile High Channel 3 and United Cable Channel 18 if the Pioneers win this weekend series. Next Saturday, 1 week from tonight, it would be Mile High Channel 3 and United Channel 26. That's a change. United Channel 26 next Saturday. Cleared all the way down to the Pioneer zone. DU with a 5-goal advantage. And time running out in the second period of tonight's game. They have the man advantage with 1:03 remaining in the penalty to Skeeter Moore. A power play goal here would get the Pioneers back to that 6-goal lead, their biggest of the 2-game series. Smith has it. Shot toward the net. Good save by Cortez. Mathiasen now. Mathiasen along the left wing boards. Pioneers without Dallas Gom, an important ingredient in their power play unit, as he is sitting this one out tonight. Comes to McMillan, but bounces over his stick. Goslin and McMillan into the corner. Toninato is there with Mathias. It's held. 1:59 in the period. 32 seconds on the penalty to Skeeter Moore. And the Pioneers trying to win the weekend series. This one figured to be a very, very close series, but the Pioneers, and I think most were surprised, ran out to that 8-2 lead in last night's game. Duluth, a better hockey team certainly than they demonstrated last night, but the Pioneers played so very well. And they really have in the last couple of games. Weiss pushed out of the way. Christoffoli is there. Weiss in the corner trying to jar it loose from Toomey, but it's out to center with 14 seconds on the penalty. Only one power play goal has been scored in this weekend series. With 8 seconds on the penalty, the Bulldogs work it to Odnikon. Drive. Missed the net. Mercier is back. The penalty is now over to Skeeter Moore, so DU not able to do much with that. Here comes Christoffoli. Shot up over the net and bangs off the glass. Eckelbarger in the corner. Checked from behind by Jim Springer, and we'll have a face-off as it's held there. 1:15 in the period. Jim Conrad, as we mentioned, will talk to head coach Ralph Backstrom immediately after this period. And then an interview with Pioneer captain Grant Dion in his final year here at DU. And for those who will not be here next year, what a way to end up their career at DU. Mayer shot. Glove save, but it got by Cortez. Unfortunately, it was outside the post. Bulldogs work it to the center ice face-off circle. Skeeter Moore leaves it off. Brett Hall with a drive, save. Skeeter Moore in front looking for the loose puck. Bouncing puck, nobody has it. Mayer finally gains control of it. Gives it to Hansen, who can't get it across the line, but then it's kicked out. Well, you saw the idea there. Skeeter Moore saying, I'm going to get it to my teammate Brett Hall, who has that big shot. Hall didn't get as strong a shot off as he would have liked, and now DU dumping it all the way down. It'll be on net. No icing as a result. Back come the Bulldogs. Brett Hall trying to get to some open ice, and a good job by Gorley. You can see Brett Hall is thinking there, trying to get to open ice to get a shot off, and that time Gorley slows him up again. Good job by Gorley twice as Mayer works it into the zone. Nice pass. Eckelbarger, he can't score. He lost it. It rolled off his stick. Nice move. He had Cortez out of the way, but he couldn't control the bouncing puck. Back come the Bulldogs. Weiss will clear it out of the DU zone. 2 seconds in the period. It's over. The period is over. Well, the Pioneers still with that big advantage. Duluth leading after 2 periods tonight, 3-2. But in the 2-game total goal series, the score after 5 periods, this is the 5th of 6 periods to be played, and it's the University of Denver Pioneers 10, the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth 5. So DU with just 1 period left, and then they will advance to the championship series against the winner of the Minnesota-Wisconsin 2-game total goal series. They played one of those this afternoon, and Minnesota beat Wisconsin 4-1, so they have the 3-goal advantage. The Gophers, perhaps the best team in the WCHA right now, and maybe in all of college hockey, the way they've been playing of late. But we'll just have to wait to see. Number one, will the Pioneers win this series? They're in good shape. And then who will their opposition be? It is 10-5. The Pioneers leading after the It's a fifth period, and we will pause here. And next up, Jim Conrad with Ralph Backstrom. Let's pause from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Most people don't know how strong we women really are. Strong in our convictions and our decisions. Tynan's Nissan, Volkswagen, Isuzu is one place that knows just what we want. That's why during the Women's Choice Sale at Tynan's, you can have Nissan Sentra's front-wheel drive economy for just $98 a month, or buy a sporty Volkswagen Jetta for just $79.90 plus a 2-year warranty. The Women's Choice Sale means super low prices on what we like best. Only at Tynan's Nissan, Volkswagen, Isuzu. Oh, men are welcome too.
Get ready for summer fun at SunTrack Suzuki. SunTrack has the new 750 GSXR. It's hot, it's fast, it's the ultimate sport bike. SunTrack has the 1400cc Cavalcade, the industry leader in tourers. SunTrack has four-wheelers for work, for play, for the whole family. And you'll find many prior year's models with savings of up to $1,000 at SunTrack. SunTrack Suzuki, 55th and Wadsworth in Arvada, just north of I-70.
Once upon a time, there was a young man who was very, very smart. Even so, there were some things he didn't know, like how much life insurance should he have to protect his family, and what kind. But, as we said, he was very, very smart. He asked a New York life agent, and he had the answers. So even if you're very smart, you may not know all you should about life insurance. But if you're very, very smart, you'll know who to ask. The Ask Me agents from New York Life. Go ahead, ask.
Well, we have a substitute for head coach Ralph Backstrom this week between periods. Dallas Gom, the injured DU center, is joining us between periods. Thanks, Dallas. I know you'd rather be out there playing tonight, but I think it was just precautionary that you stay off and not play tonight.
Well, I thought I might be able to go, but I tried it in warm-up, and there was just nothing there, and the doctor said it'd be best if I take 3 or 4 days off.
Last night, the doctor told us that he advised you not go back and play the third period, but I guess you felt good enough to do that, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, when you're in the game, your adrenaline's so high, and you don't really feel the pain that much, but, you know, after a night of not doing nothing all day to day, it kind of caught up with me.
Well, it has a tendency when you're off it then to swell up and get sore, so it's probably a wise idea, especially with that big 6-goal lead you guys took into the game.
Yeah, it's pretty swelled up right now. I've been putting a lot of ice on it, and I'm going to try and look after it as best I can.
Have to be happy the way your teammates are playing, though, tonight, even though they trail in the game 3-2. I thought they've played pretty well.
They're playing their hearts out, you know. We've got so many injuries right now, and we're only going with 3 lines, 5-6 defensemen. Everyone's just pulling together and playing as a team, and we got 20 minutes to go here, and if we can put a good 20 minutes in, we'll be playing next weekend, too.
I know you guys don't like to look ahead too far, but once you get into that NCAA playoffs, I know that that has been your goal all season, and that's going to really be an accomplishment just to make it to that level.
Well, it's something we've been working for all year, and it's right there. You know, we're so close to it right now. If we can finish this weekend off and try not to look too far ahead, we'll be all right.
Big day for you yesterday in that you found out that you were one of the 10 finalists for the Hobie Baker Award. That has to be very pleasing.
Yeah, that's a nice honor, but you know, I'm not going overboard about it or nothing. I'm just trying to take it in stride. It's nice that they're recognizing me. I've had a fairly good year, but you know, the team comes first, and that's the most important thing right now.
Really interesting to see how well guys like Scotty Mathias have come on and played since Jeff Lamb was out last night. You're out tonight. I think he's been playing outstanding hockey.
Oh, he's stepped right in, and he's played great. We knew he could play well. He's played off and on this year, and we knew he could step in and play as well as he has.
Dallas, thanks for joining us. Get off of that foot and try to enjoy the third period.
Thanks, Jim.
Very good. Dallas Gom, our guest between periods, and we will return to the DU Ice Arena in just a moment.
Heard the news?
I've never seen anything like it.
March is going to be a month of wild and crazy fun.
Good.
On Cinemax.
Well, I do like to have fun.
Then watch The Purple Rose of Cairo, Desperately Seeking Susan. Who? Plus weird and wacky originals and music to rock by.
What's in it for me?
Glad you asked. A free weekend of Cinemax. 2 days that'll leave you wanting more. Don't miss the Cinemax Red Hot Preview March 15th and 16th. Get it?
Got it.
Drive drunk. No, 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 no. Drive drunk. No, 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 no. Drive drunk. Woo! Get strong, drive as a man.
Come on, Mark. Let me drive.
Mark, last time, give me the keys.
No way!
What kind of friend are you? Look, give him the keys.
Do you remember baseball before designated hitters? The American Football League, Rocky Graziano, or how about George Mikan? If you do, you can win valuable prizes on Time Out for Trivia, America's only phone-in sports quiz show. Todd Donahoe hosts, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on SCORE, a service of FNN.
Pioneers lead this one 10-5 with just 1 period remaining in this 6-game series, if you will, 6-period game, I should say. 2-game total goal series. Pioneers with that 10-5 lead. And in the other WCHA semifinal series, Wisconsin trailing Minnesota 4-1. The Gophers with a 3-goal advantage. Looking elsewhere in playoff hockey, Boston University beat New Hampshire 4-3. So Boston University advances. Going to the ECAC, Harvard beat Colgate 6-1. Harvard advances. It was Yale 7-3 over St. Lawrence. Yale advances. Elsewhere, Clarkson beat RPI. RPI, the defending national champions, and it was 6-4. Clarkson, and they advance. Also, it was Cornell and Vermont ending up in a 3-all tie, but Cornell advances because of the effort earlier. So that's the way it is out of the ECAC. Before tonight's game, Jim Conrad talked to the captain of the Pioneers, Grant Dion. Let's listen to the conversation.
Our guest between periods is the captain of the DU Pioneers, Grant Dion. And Grant, last night I thought just an outstanding effort from opening face-off to the final buzzer.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, everyone was working hard. We were doing little things that really make the difference, like we were defensemen were coming up and taking up ice in center ice, and our forwards were forechecking very well and taking the man. And all those things put together made a great effort for us.
Even though you go in with a 6-goal lead tonight, I think the attitude probably is let's just win and not worry about anything else.
Exactly. You know, we got to take the momentum into the next game of the series. You know, if we come in lightly, you never know. There's no reason why they can't beat us by 6 tonight if we come in and play lightly. So we're taking them as we want to win the game tonight, and we're going to start fresh, and hopefully we'll have a good same effort as last night.
This team had a couple of bad periods in that first game against Michigan Tech, the second and third, but since that time, you guys have been awesome. It's been 6 really outstanding periods.
Yeah, the game against Michigan Tech, and we weren't getting any breaks. We were working hard. We got a lot of shots on net. Things weren't going our way, and it kind of dragged us down, as you might say. But now things are going our way, and that effort's coming out fine. It's working good for us.
Let's talk about a couple of injuries from last night. Dallas Gom was sensational, even on a badly sprained ankle. Is he going to play tonight?
I believe he is going to play, yeah. And also Dave Hansen had a pulled groin. I think he'll be playing tonight also.
You have to also be pleased with the goaltending you got last night from Chris Olson. Actually, he's been excellent down the stretch.
Yeah, Chris really came and did a job for us. I mean, he was real excited to play, and you know, he worked hard all week, and he's ready to play again tonight.
Does it make any difference as you guys, I know you don't want to look ahead too far because you still have this game to play, but would it make any difference who you get, Minnesota or Wisconsin?
Oh, I don't know. I say we're not looking at that far ahead right now. We want to win tonight, but there's 2 different styles of play. Minnesota's a fast skating team, and Wisconsin's more of a hitting type team. I don't know. It's hard for me to say what the other guys would like, but I might like to play against Minnesota myself.
It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference, though. Once you're in the playoffs, you guys just have to worry about yourselves and keep playing the kind of hockey you've been playing.
That's right. We can't look to see what everyone else is doing. If we come out with a good effort every night, we're guaranteed to have home ice advantage as long as we keep winning. So we'll just decide we're going to keep winning tonight and look ahead when it comes.
Has there been a mental change because you kind of struggled down the last 4 or 5 weeks where you were splitting all those series, although you were playing good hockey teams, but you seem to really be much more intense at this point?
Yeah, as I say, I think that a couple losses against Michigan Tech really helped us out because we learned how to face the adversity. And when things weren't going our way, we were able to just work that much harder and make the breaks for ourselves. So I think that there has been an attitude change. People are willing to work a little harder to do what it takes now.
Grant, good luck to you the rest of the way, and hope to see you in the NCAA playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Our guest between periods, the captain of the DU Pioneers, Grant Dion.
And you are again.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. Grant Dion, outstanding young man, and of course, when we talked, we thought Dallas Scom was going to play. So that was taped earlier, and interesting to talk to Dallas Scom between periods. I've not had a chance to do that on one of our telecasts this year, and very personable young man.
Let's take a look at the Duluth goal, the first goal in the second period, this by McIver.
And it's just a beautiful move and a good pass from DeAngelis to McIver, who gets the breakaway, and then he gets just moves around Olsen, puts the backhand by him, and that was a big goal. Take a look at the other angle. He goes one way just momentarily, but then sweeps it back to his backhand side and beats Olsen. That goal coming at 2:51 from DeAngelis, the 11th of the year for McIver. Then another goal by Minnesota Duluth. Hull, his 52nd of the year from Johnson and Odnikon at 5:23, and at that point it was a 3-1 lead and only a 4-goal margin. So DU really wanted to cut back into it, and they did. Beautiful play as Matthias and Hansen worked a 2-on-1. Hansen, his 9th of the year from Matthias and Weiss at 9:35, and we stand at 3-2 in the game, but 10-5.
Right.
Do I have it right?
You got it.
10-5 in the total goal series.
And we'll be back to the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
No way to keep those four.
Ah, you're crazy. Just making sure he's facing the camera.
Testing. 1, 2.
The hottest concert ticket ever.
Hey, man, I know I'm on the list.
Right.
Did you see that
If you see only one movie this year, see this one.
The big fight, the big concert, the big movie. If you can't be there, we will. Nobody brings it home like HBO.
Sure, trailing suspects through back streets and dark alleys is dangerous work, but it's worth it. Because after cracking a tough case, I open one of these, a light beer from Miller. After tracking down hot leads all day, a cold light sure tastes great. And life's less filling, too, with a third less calories than their regular beer. And you can't afford to get filled up in this line of work.
Rossini.
Good news, lady. Found your dog.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Where's he going?
Safeway, when you don't have time to wait in line.
And here is the DU goal in the second period. Look at this. Scott Matthias, his speed did it, a 2-on-1, right to David Hansen. He lifts it over the top of Mike Cortez. Here you get another, well, you started to get another look. There it is. Hansen wide open on the nice play, and DU cut the lead to 3-2 and leads it 10-5 in the series. There you see the second period stats as DU again outshooting Minnesota Duluth. Overall, a 50-31 advantage. Shots on goal, DU again with the advantage in the third period. Overall, 27-16. Olsen has made 13 saves, Cortez 25, and Minnesota Duluth leads at 3-2 in the game, but trails 10-5 in the series.
And Duluth with the shooting edge, at least shots, no, I'm sorry, not with the shooting edge after 2 periods. I don't know why I said that. Pioneers continuing with that shooting edge, and that's the important thing. If DU can continue to keep the pressure on at the other end, a very difficult proposition for Duluth to come back. I think a couple of times they could have made it interesting. They scored that first goal in the first period, and had they been able to come back and get another one at that early stage, Pioneers would have had a 4-goal lead. That could have been very difficult for DU to react to. Duluth did score 2 unanswered goals in the second period, but Hansen's goals cut into that, and again, time running out, but the Pioneers able to retain a solid advantage. And we'll get a look at the, we will get an opportunity to show you the Hobey Baker candidates in just a moment. They have been named, as you look at Chris Olson, 10 finalists named for the Hobey Baker Award, and the Hobey Baker, much like the Heisman Trophy.
And here they are. You see the first 2 players from Minnesota Duluth here tonight, Norm McIver and Brett Hall. McIver, the defenseman. Mike Donnelly from Michigan State. Dan Dorian, the leading scorer in the nation from Western Michigan. Gary Emmons from Northern Michigan, who had an outstanding season, great goal scorer.
Led the WCHA in scoring goals.
Goals, indeed. Then Scott Fusco, scoring machine from Harvard. Dallas Gom, of course, we talked to him, led the WCHA in total scoring this year. Scott Harlow from Boston College. Scott Sandlin, and another defenseman from North Dakota. And the one I really have a question about, Chris Terreri. No question. I thought he was the best goaltender we saw last year. He was terrific. He was awesome when we saw him last year here at the DU Ice Arena. But he's been out all season. He really hasn't played much. And
he didn't get back in until after January 1st.
And he gets named while Dwight Mathiasen for the DU Pioneers, who has been such a tremendous cog in this DU team, which has been #1 in the nation for most of the season, is left off of the Hobey Baker Awards. But I guess you're always going to have controversy on something like that.
We gave you some of the scores from elsewhere in college hockey and playoff games. We gave you Hockey East and ECAC scores. When we get a chance, we'll go to the Central League. Bit of a surprise there. And the puck is forced into the DU zone as we're underway. Final period of this 2-game total goal series. Goslin will let it fly. Ooh, just missed the net. Round it comes and out and down into the blue zone.
Tommy Weiss with 9 shots and Jim Smith with 10 lead DU after 2 periods. And for the Bulldogs, it's Brett Hall with 6. And a couple of other players with 4. Here's Smith.
Drive. Skeeter Moore dove in front of that. Where's the loose puck? It's in behind Cortez. The Pioneers couldn't get to it. And here comes Brett Hall. He'll try to find some open ice, and he's checked off of it by Jim Smith. Good play by Jim Smith. Would have been a delayed offside. Now into the zone. Springer centers it. And it's pushed away. Trying to get a shot off was Brian Johnson, and Mathiasen was there defensively. The Pioneers can keep things in their favor through this period. They will advance to the WCHA Championship Series. Dion loses it. Back into the zone, Adnakan. Gorley goes down and gets a piece of it. DU can't clear it out. Now controlled and brought by Mathias to center ice. Weiss with the headman pass.
Yes.
Goal, Tommy Weiss! Weiss got away from a couple of checks, and he drove it upstairs in that tremendous wrist shot. Well, back to a 6-goal advantage. That's where they were at the end of last night.
Tell you, I like the guy. Watch this guy shoot. If there's somebody with a better or harder shot, I'd like to see it. Look at that one. As he just whipped it upstairs, Cortez had no shot. As Weiss just worked away from a couple of checks, there's the puck laying there, and he whips it up top.
DeAngelis having the last shot at knocking Weiss off the puck, or at least deflecting the puck. Now Cortez getting some attention to his right hand. Mike Cortez being attended to. It was a right hand or wrist problem. He appears to be okay and is headed back into the goal.
Tommy Weiss, his 2nd goal of the night. 21st of the season from Hansen at 9:24.
Weiss had a goal last night.
He did indeed.
3 goals for Weiss in this series.
Last night's was a weird one, though. Not his usual rifle shot, as he just kind of flipped one up.
I'll tell you, he's been scoring of late. Last weekend against Michigan Tech, he scored, and down the stretch of the regular season, He scored 6 goals in his last 5 games. So he's been scoring for DU.
Well, he took it on himself to win the first game of that Colorado College series that closed it out as he got the final 2 goals, the 6th goal to tie it. Oh, my goodness.
Mathiasen is drilled by Goslin. Gets up, there's a shot, missed the net. Mathiasen lost his helmet and everything else. Goslin went down as well, but what a hit just inside the blue line.
Mathias still skating without his helmet.
He's headed into the zone. He appears to be okay. I'm not sure I could have taken that hit. Weiss with 2 goals tonight, 1 last night, and he's gotten the Pioneers back to the 6-goal advantage. In behind the net, Mayer trying to dish it off in front. McMillan now gets a piece of it, but Onstad was pushed and couldn't get his stick on it. Back come the Bulldogs. Shot, ooh, that one went wide from a tough angle. Cowan let it fly. McIver works in. That one missed the net. Back come the Pioneers, McMillan. McMillan into the zone to Menzies. Menzies fires it cross ice. Onstad reaching for it. Grabs it, shot, save. Cleared to the end boards. McMillan working hard there. Gets it toward the front of the net. It's pushed back in behind. 17 minutes remaining in this 2-game total goal series, and Duluth must score 7 goals and keep the Pioneers from scoring to win the series in this, and it's come down to this 1 period. McIver, after the earlier shot, he'll keep it in, and it's held along the sideboards for a face-off.
Dewey Marcus scrambling for his life.
Yep. Weiss with 3 goals this weekend. Let's see, he scored what last weekend? I'll take a look. Against Tech. Let's take a look at this hit. It's unbelievable.
Watch as Scott Mathias will take it into the zone. He's number 8. And number 4, Goslin, right here it is. Boom! Oh, my.
Well, I'm wrong. Maybe he didn't score last weekend.
Oh, don't tell me you're wrong.
Yes, believe it or not. But that's not unusual. I'm sorry. He did score 1 goal against Michigan Tech.
Oh!
Shot, big save there.
Christoffoli.
Now it's in across the Pioneer line. There's a drive. Olsen with a nifty little pad save, and Mathiasen checked by Skeeter Moore. Forced into the corner, right side of Olsen. Dion is there. Dion trying to work up the far side. He is checked off of it. Springer pinches in, and then Dion reaches back and intercepts Springer's attempted pass. Back along the end boards, Gorley. Gorley to the center ice face-off circle. Shot.
Weiss has had 8 goals in the last 4 weekends, so he is hot right now.
Mayer with a drive, never got it very far as it went off Brian Johnson. Pioneers trying to close out Minnesota Duluth. Into the zone, and Mayer comes over. Mayer's effort on the stick of Tom Weiss. He dragged it in behind him. He's offside. And now Goslin and Weiss, and Weiss fires Goslin's stick out of the way. Reach down and I'm telling you. Minnesota Duluth, as you look at their bench and head coach Mike Sertich, they have been in the Final Four the last 2 years.
Well, no question that Sertich has done a terrific job at Duluth. And they are certainly a good hockey team this year.
But they lost Matt Christensen a few weeks ago. They're certainly one of their leaders, fine center iceman. Matt Christensen felled by a couple of strokes, but he's really come out of it. He's here this weekend and watching his teammates perform, and while he's unhappy about that, I know he's pleased with his progress. We certainly are.
That's for sure.
He has had some problems with his right side following the stroke, but that's getting better. Into the corner, right side of Olsen. Puck laying there, and McMillan will step in. Back to the line. Drive.
Whoa.
Olsen, big save. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
It's the grand opening of Super Trucks USA. We've got Colorado's largest inventory of pickup, Jeep, and 4x4 accessories, all in our convenient showroom. We have the best selection of accessories from the tires up. We're Super Trucks USA, your one-stop pickup, Jeep, and 4x4 headquarters. 3890 Kipling Street in Wheat Ridge.
Face-off circle left side of Chris Olson. It was hard to tell at the time that Matt Christensen came down with the strokes and how his team would react, and they really struggled down the last several games of the season after he was lost for the season.
Well, you would certainly expect something like that to take the wind out of a team's sails. And it was just a matter of a few weeks ago that he was in the hospital in critical condition.
Comes to Olson, and he'll smother it, making sure that no further damage can be done. That's right, he was in intensive care and is in Denver this week. He's really responded very well.
Take a look at the save by Olson.
It's just a case of Olson making sure that no more pressure.
Came right out off the end boards as DeLisle got it out in front. And you watch Smith. Smith is trying to sweep it away, but before he can do that, Olson says, let's just have a face-off here, guys.
And it'll come to his right side or his stick side. Chris Olson has played both games this weekend. First time that he had started a Friday night game last week. Pioneers able to clear it out. Here comes Hansen. McIver back 2-on-1 with Weiss. Weiss then lost control of it. Weiss trying to decide, I think, whether he wanted to shoot or get a pass off, and it rolled off his stick. Out to center, gets by Gorley. Down into the zone. 14 minutes remaining this weekend. And remaining in Duluth's season. You would not expect Duluth to advance to the round of 8 in the NCAA. Fishback. Up the left side and then lost it at the line. Brett Hall playing the left point on this particular shift for Duluth, as he just wants to get an opportunity to fire it toward the net. He's been checked very well tonight. Here comes Matthias. Shot went off Cortez's arm. Hall has been checked by everybody tonight. I mean, he has not been able to move into open ice to get an opportunity so far to really let fly with a shot. There's a drive knocked down in front. McMillan will slap it toward the net. Menzies is there trying to deflect it. Cowan clears it out.
Well, Hall did get the one goal, the slap shot from outside the blue line, but other than that,
that's right,
he really has not been open.
He had a goal last night on a face-off one in the Pioneer zone, and that time he did have some room, and he made good on it. Whoa, nice play by Mercier, controlling what could have been a dangerous-looking puck coming off the end boards. Forced in front, Olson looking for the loose puck, it's in the goal. Sean Toomey in front of the net, and he lifts it up over the fallen Chris Olson. It's now 3-3 in this game.
Nice work by Odnikon, Brian Johnson, and Toomey. Let's take a look. As you'll see, the pass come out in front, and then it'll be laying there, and there is Toomey, who pops it up over. Brian Johnson got it out front to Springer. I thought it was Odnikon. Here's Springer, can't quite control it, but gets it towards Olson. Olson, the puck popping around, and now it's just laying there. Toomey just pops it up over Olson, who was sitting on the ice by that time.
And I was incorrect. It's 4-3. Duluth leading this one, but it's an 11-6 advantage in 2 games. So the Pioneers with a 5-goal advantage with 12:39 remaining.
Dewey Marcus over trying to straighten out who scored the goal.
And now we're set for the face-off at center. Teams have played on even terms in this game, certainly more evenly played than was the case Friday night. Pioneers with the shooting advantage tonight. They had a strong advantage Friday night. Good save by Olson.
Toomey, his 23rd of the season from Odnikon and Springer at 7:21.
Bulldogs are staying with it. Despite the fact they've got a long way to come back. Christofoli lost it to Adnakan, and he'll dump it in. Johnson in behind the net. Lead pass to Mathiasen, and he's drilled by Goslin. No penalties in this period, is that right, or did I forget one?
Nope.
How many in the second period? One penalty?
One penalty.
All the penalties in this game in the first period. Brett Hall trying to stick Hanley's way into get in position for a shot. Nice job. Pioneers check him off of it again. And here comes Jim Smith. He'll let it fly. Upstairs with a shot. Close call. I'll tell you, going up for it and taking it off the shoulder was Cortez, and that almost slipped in behind him. Back to the Pioneer line. Crossing pass. Gorley takes it off the left side and will clear it in. Hansen digging for it, but it's gloved by Cortez. He'll hang on. Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
At last, there's a brand new AM station in Denver that plays the classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s without a lot of talk or interruption. It's KLSC, Classic Hits, right here at 1090 on your AM dial.
All night long, all night, all night long.
Hear classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s on AM 1090 KLSC.
Well, we may get some penalties out of all of that. It was Goslin and Hansen going at it as we left, and then Tom Weiss stepped in. Goslin kept talking, and let's take a look at the save, and then Hansen ends up behind Cortez.
You'll see the shot as, well, it really wasn't a save. The puck just came off the end boards, and then
nice little cross check from behind.
Yeah, but it was Goslin who leveled Hansen. Hansen got up and started pushing and shoving. It really wasn't, Weiss didn't come in to get into the fray. He came in to try to keep Hansen from getting a penalty.
And there were no penalties called. Dewey Marcus would rather have the teams play even strength against each other and trying to give anybody an advantage in an important series like this. No penalties called that time. In behind the cage, McMillan. And it's held for a face-off. No, it's dug free. Here comes Gorley. Gorley lead pass. Onstad can't deflect it out of the zone. Pioneers struggling a bit as good pressure by Duluth. Cleared off the glass and out across the line it comes, and advancing the puck with the hand is ruled. 10:27 remaining. 4-3 tonight. Duluth with the advantage, but overall, Pioneers have a 5-goal advantage in the total goal situation. And it's fired in. Mercier. Lead pass to Christofoli. Mercier tries to take a swipe at it. It's back in the DU zone, and Mercier chases it down. Around it comes to Mathiasen. Can't get it out of the zone. It's kept in by Tom Hansen. Now Eric Mayer around to Mercier. Bulldogs putting the pressure on the last couple of minutes. Bouncing puck. Mathiasen trying to get to it. Mathiasen scored 5 goals in his 2 previous games before tonight. Tom Hansen, lead pass, Adnakan, checked by Mathiasen. Sends it in. Smith behind the cage. Jim Smith, checked by Adnakan. Adnakan all over the ice, doing a good job for the Bulldogs. Around it comes Skeeter Moore. He can move in, shot. Olsen save, loose puck. Smith will force it to head off the backhand of Mathiasen. Mathiasen slows up at the red line, and in it goes. Scott Mathias is there. Back to Eric Johnson. Needs to hurry where the shot does. Save Cortez.
Ooh. That one rolled up Cortez's arm, and he had to struggle to glove it. Take a look as you look at Eric Johnson. Johnson waits. Now he's being pressured, and he whips the shot.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Almost got by Cortez.
Johnson doing the right thing. He waited as long as he could and moved in at the same time to get in closer. And then as he was beginning to be challenged, he let the shot go. Eric Johnson scoring his first goal of the season last night for the Pioneers. Skeeter Moore with the puck, and it's checked off of it by Weiss. Centers, and Hansen's there. Oh my goodness, Hansen pushed from behind as he drives it over the top of the cage. Hansen was drilled from behind as he was in the slot area, got a piece of the puck, and it went over the top of the cage, and then he was hammered from behind aggressively, and it ended up hard into the net. Let's take a look.
This is the line that has all three of the DU goals. That's Hansen. Look at him right there. He just tries to pop it up. Oh, he popped it up too much. It went over the top of the net. And it was McIver again, nailing Hansen from behind.
Came up with the stick, a lower back cross check, and Hansen went hard into the net.
You know, you look at it, that line with Matthias centering the bookends has all three goals tonight.
Scott Matthias has done a job. And of course, Tom Weiss has been scoring, as we indicated earlier, for the Pioneers over the last few games. 8:56 remaining. Pioneers looking to advance. Shot! Oh! That just missed Hansen. Drive after Matthias tied up his counterpart. That was Dave Cowan. They tied each other up, and Hansen slipped in for the loose puck and drove it toward the net. We have an icing call against Duluth.
You know, Tom Weiss, being a senior this year, certainly has not gotten the recognition of a Gam or a Mathiasen, and obviously those two have such great statistics. Watch this as Matthias ties everybody up. Hansen just whips the shot, and that missed by about a quarter of an inch of being a goal. Watch it here again. Look at that. Hansen skates in and gets the shot off. Again, he is pasted by McIver.
Yeah. What a job by Matthias in the center ice face-off circle. Puck was dropped. He tied up his counterpart, Dave Cowan. McMillan trying to get it back to the line. It comes cross ice, scrambling over. Gorley will keep it in.
But the point I was trying to make, even though Weiss has not had the numbers or the recognition of a Gam or Mathiasen, you would think that some team with as big a shot as he has, some NHL team might give him a shot.
Big shot, and he's beginning to score. Along the end boards, Gorley. Gorley fires it ahead. That goes off McMillan and out of the zone. Hard hit on Menzies. Back into the Pioneer end. Shot, good save. Cleared out from in front of the net by Gorley. Back to center. Bulldogs, on balance, have had the better of it in this third period, but the Pioneers with that wide advantage in total goals. Menzies is checked at the red line, sent to the ice by Terry Schold. Back come the Bulldogs. Schold will let a shot go. Olsen save. Mercier clears it off the sideboards and out of play. Let's pause here from the D Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
You've heard the expression, he or she is one of a kind, when describing a professional athlete or an outstanding person. I'm Gary Kubiak, here to tell you about a one-of-a-kind automobile dealership, Kumpf Lincoln Mercury. Kumpf is outstanding and professional. Whether they are selling you a magnificent Lincoln or Mercury automobile or servicing your car after the sale, buy your next car from Kumpf Lincoln Mercury, South Broadway at Bellevue, and you'll see why their customers say Kumpf is one of a kind.
To finish my point on Weiss, not only does he have that big shot, he has that very large body at 6'3", and about 220, 225 pounds. That would certainly make me interested if I were an NHL general manager.
Pioneers win the face-off. Merritt Eckelbarger, and he'll send it in. Chasing it down, DeAngelis. And it goes to Tom Hansen. Hansen's pass to Skeeter Moore. Moore takes it into the zone. Gets by Mercier, moves to the middle, holds, shot, goal. Skeeter Moore got by Mercier, and he hung on to it long enough to get himself into good position. He fired it by Chris Olsen, down to a 4-goal advantage with 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining.
Well, it's the second time the Bulldogs have gotten it to a 4-goal margin. They did it earlier. As you take a look, Moore just held it, faked the shot right there, then skated around until he had a little more ice to work with, and now fires the puck. Ooh, it was deflected in front. Went off of one of the DU defenders. and gets up into the corner to beat Olson.
And you're right, back to a 4-goal advantage for the Pioneers. Duluth has pulled within 4 now twice. Time running out for Duluth, but again, there is time remaining. 7-11. Duluth with a 5-3 advantage in this one, as Olson will hang on to that one.
Moore, his 28th of the season from DeAngelis and Toninato at 12:49 to make it 5-3 Duluth, but only 11-7 in the total goal.
Pioneers with that big 6-goal advantage coming into game 2. The 2-goal advantage for Duluth, they're well short of overtaking the Pioneers at this point.
And you got to remember that DU is playing without 2 of their top 3 centermen.
Yep.
Ngam and Lamb both out.
They're missing 2/3 of their strength, as Pioneers have had that strength up the middle this year.
Well, you combine those 2 guys with John McMillan, and those are 3 outstanding centers. And then the way Scott Mathias has now come on to play, DU very strong at that position.
May not be a team in college hockey with a stronger center ice. Look out, McIver's drive, knocked down, shot, whoa! I'll tell you, Pioneers need to get it going. Held for a face-off. Boy, it's been up and down for DU tonight. Right now, they're trying to turn around some momentum in Duluth's favor. Let's take a look at that close opportunity.
McIver's shot is knocked down by Smith, but then I believe it's Brett Hall. I don't know if we'll see him, but Hall comes in right there and whips. Was that Hall or was that one of the DU players that got his stick on it?
Well, I think it was Hall, but nonetheless it went by. But a close call. 6:52 remaining. Pioneers win the faceoff. Johnson bumped off of it in behind the cage. Okay, the Bulldogs not quitting. That shot missed. Whistled wide off Toninato's effort. Drive, Olson reaching for the loose puck, but it didn't get to him, and now it's fed up the left side. Here comes Jim Smith. Shot, save, rebound! Another brilliant save by Cortez. Eckelbarger said, oh boy, I've got the open net, but somehow Cortez was there, and we have a penalty coming up. A penalty against Duluth. A penalty against Duluth, but I'll tell you, what a save by Cortez. I could see Eckelbarger licking his chops on that one.
Here's the slap shot by Jim Smith, the original save right there by Cortez. But look at this, comes right out to Eckelbarger, and he says, here it is, I got one. But look at that, Cortez comes over to make the save.
And Skeeter Moore pulling Eckelbarger down as he crossed in front of the net. You saw that after the shot was taken. Skeeter Moore in the penalty box. His second penalty in this period.
Moore for slashing at 13:35.
And the score, the Pioneers trail in this one 5-3, but they have the 4-goal advantage at 11-7 in the total goal picture. And with 6:25 remaining, DU with the man advantage. And now more work needed on Cortez's hand. It's his right hand. He has a lot of tape on it now.
You know, I didn't see how he hurt that, but it looked like it came on, looked like it was Weiss's goal that he hurt it.
Let's pause here from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Most people don't know how strong we women really are. Strong in our convictions and our decisions. Tynan's Nissan Volkswagen Isuzu is one place that knows just what we want. That's why during the Women's Choice Sale at Tynan's, you can have Nissan Sentra's front-wheel drive economy for just $98 a month, or buy a sporty Volkswagen Jetta for just $79.90 plus a 2-year warranty. The Women's Choice Sale means super low prices on what we like best. Only at Tynan's Nissan Volkswagen Isuzu. Oh, men are welcome too.
There you see Mike Cortez still getting attention to that hand. Now he's set to come in. Pioneers will have the man advantage. 2-minute minor to Skeeter Moore. 1 power play goal has been scored this entire weekend. Pioneers scored it Friday night. That's been it. Again, with the Bulldogs pulling within 4, an important time for the Pioneers to get their second power play goal. get it going in their direction again. Springer in behind the net. Shoves it into the corner, Odnikon. And McMillan chase after it. Goes to Brian Johnson, and he'll clear it out. Grant Dion into the DU zone. Now to Mathiasen. It's Weiss, Mathiasen, and McMillan, and Weiss beat the play across the line. Offside Pioneers. 1:41 in the penalty, 6:06 in the game. Pioneers trying to advance to the championship series in the WCHA. The winner of that championship series getting an automatic berth in the round of 8, the NCAA round of 8. Down into the zone it goes. Dion to Weiss, to Mathiasen. Deflects it to the sideboards and chases it down. Mathiasen and Springer bang along the end boards. McMillan comes in. Dion and Smith at the points, but Dallas Gom has been missed on this power play. He's usually out there with McMillan and Mathiasen. It's held for a face-off.
And he's such a key part. He's the trigger man. He's the guy that makes things happen, not only on the power play, but just in a game. He is so brilliant at getting the puck to the right person.
Head coach Ralph Backstrom. There's Eckelbarger. 5:41 remaining in the game. 1:16 in the penalty to Skeeter Moore. Mathias is going to come out to take the face-off against Odnikon. Eckelbarger and Weiss out. Mercier and Johnson at the points. Won by Mathias. Drive, goal! Tommy Weiss with a hat trick, I believe, in front. Tommy Weiss, I think, deflected it in. Here comes a hat out on the ice. What a job by Scott Mathias again. He wins the face-off to Eric Johnson. Johnson with a shot. I think Weiss deflected it in. Tommy Weiss with a hat trick.
Watch Mathias. This is how he's winning all the face-off. He just skates into the circle and skates right into the player as the puck is dropped.
That was Odnikon.
Gets it right back, and it's tipped in front by Weiss.
Believe it's Weiss. We'll wait and see officially.
Eric Johnson with the slap shot. Here it is. Johnson with the slap shot. Yes,
Weiss got a stick on it.
It's Weiss with the hat trick. Boy, has this line done a job.
Wow. Tommy Weiss with a hat trick. As he deflected it in front, it's now 12-7. Back to a 5-goal advantage for the Pioneers. With 5:37 remaining, it's a power play goal. Second power play goal of the weekend series scored by the Pioneers.
And Weiss with his 3rd goal of the game, 22nd of the season. The big guy now has 9 goals in the last 4 weekends from Johnson and Mathias at 14-23. And the lead is now 5 for Duluth, but it's back to a 5-goal margin in total goals.
And it's held for a face-off. What a job in the face-off circle by Scott Mathias. We talk about face-offs, how important they are. And that face-off won by Mathias resulted directly in a goal.
Mathias almost cheats on those face-offs. He just skates into the circle at the last minute, and he's still going when the puck is dropped. What he does is he turns his body in and pushes the opponent off of the puck. He did that to Odnikon that time. Got it right back to Eric Johnson. Johnson slap shot, then deflected in by Weiss.
And it's Mathiasen with the puck. Puts it in the middle. Bulldogs in control. Toninato in across the line, and then it's pushed ahead and out of the zone by Eckelbarger to Mathiasen. Stops. Checked by McIver. Flips it toward the net. Cortez will glove it as it is Eckelbarger zeroing in. 5 minutes exactly remaining in this game, and actually the weekend series, is the Pioneers in great shape to advance to the WCHA championship round, which they will host right here at the DU Arena. We will expect, again, sellout crowds here at the DU Arena. 871-2336, 871-2336. That's the ticket office phone number. Check to see what's available for next weekend. Here comes Mayer, 2-on-1 to Onstad. Big save. Cortez will smother. 2-on-1. Onstad could not get it up over the top of Cortez, who made the stop.
Nice work by Derek Mayer, another freshman. Watch him as he controls the puck, skates in 2-on-1, slips it to Onstad, but a good save again by Cortez.
It was DeAngelis going down to try to interrupt that 2-on-1 opportunity, but Pioneers got a shot. Mercier drive. Ooh, wicked shot. Missed the net. Mayer with a shot, and that one fluttered. Went over the top of the cage. Mercier will take another chance at it to Mayer again. Save. McMillan in behind, in front. Cortez scrambles around. It's in the net. No, he waves it off. He waves it off. Does Dewey Marcus. He lost sight of the puck. And when a referee loses sight of the puck, he'll wave it off. And Ralph Backstrom is unhappy. But I'll tell you, McMillan almost could have done it himself. He came around the net, and Cortez was well out of position.
Now watch Johnny McMillan. I don't think he realizes it's wide open. Got it to Onstad. Great save by Cortez. Now the puck is just laying there, and it's finally pushed in by Onstad. But by that time, Dewey Marcus had lost sight of it. Watch this. You'll see a good shot of the puck just laying there, right there.
Yeah.
And then Onstad pushes it in, but it's waved off by Marcus.
Dewey Marcus could not see the puck, but it very definitely it was still in play. And the Pioneers were trying to tie this one up at 5.
And Jim Onstad is livid because he's had 3 or 4 great opportunities tonight. That one, he finally pushed it in, and it got waved off.
Second goal that's been waved off for the Pioneers tonight. Earlier, a puck kicked in by McMillan was waved off, and rightly so by Dewey Marcus. That time he lost sight of it, but really the puck was still in play. And now a face-off after the puck is covered, and we'll have the draw outside the Duluth zone with 4:21 remaining in this weekend series.
Crowd still buzzing about that Onstad no goal.
He was at the doorstep earlier, and Cortez stopped him just moments before. Gorley back into the DU zone, lead pass, and Hansen will get enough of it to direct it into the zone. That's David Hansen for the Pioneers. Now Tom Hansen whips it around the boards, cleared out to center. David Hansen, offside. Pioneers not cleared the zone, apparently 4 minutes remaining. Head coach Ralph Backstrom and the Pioneer bench looking to advance to the championship series. What a year this has been for DU. It was the Pioneers early in the season that started things going their way and made believers out of a lot of people. Cortez is still bothered. He's well out of the net. Cortez is coming to the bench, and they're going to change goaltenders right here. Cortez will come off. Hajduk will come on. Hajduk will come on to finish it off with 4 minutes remaining. Timeout,
Duluth.
Minnesota Duluth. Well, let's see. Hajduk is warming up, as you see, trying to stretch. It was early in the season. As a matter of fact, the first weekend of regular season play that the Pioneers would split at Madison, Wisconsin, would split the weekend series with the Badgers. Then they would come home and beat Colorado College. The Pioneers falling behind by 3 goals down at the Broadmoor World Arena in that second game to come back and win it 6-4. One of the very fine comeback efforts by the Pioneers, only to go to Minneapolis the following weekend against the Golden Gophers and beat the Gophers twice. So the Pioneers really got to the point where they believed in themselves and began to get some recognition elsewhere, and that really led to what has been an outstanding season. The Pioneers did struggle down the stretch against WCHA opposition as they were very much up and down, and the Pioneers at times looked as though they were going to take control of things and then kind of lost control. But in the playoffs, after a tough initial effort against Michigan Tech, DU has come back and played very well to lead into the championship series. Pioneers never lost 2 games in a row this season, though.
That is an amazing string right there. That will tell you something about this club, that they, throughout the entire season, never lost 2 games back-to-back.
Hey, down here, hurry up!
And you see the warm-up for John Hajduk. And he's getting...
The fans are cheering.
He's getting some unhappiness, and now what's the problem?
Get out of the way, get out of the way. Let him through.
They need a doctor on the bench, apparently. Well, it may be Mike Cortez. He may, and Cortez has gone off and will leave the game, but apparently there's something further wrong with him. And everybody on the Duluth bench is left so that he can be attended to.
So Cortez.
Dr. Robert Leffler is there, the Pioneer doctor, and he is a good one, and he's looking at Mike Cortez right now.
It's got to be something more than just his hand at this point.
I saw Dewey Marcus indicate something in the stomach area when he came over to indicate that Duluth would take a timeout and warm up a second goaltender, as though Cortez was having a problem in the stomach area. And you see Cortez sitting up anyway.
That's Dr. Robert Leffler in the white shirt on your right-hand side, right behind Dewey Marcus.
It looks like they're trying to get him to come around as though he was going through some feigning problems.
Yeah. There you saw Dr. Leffler holding a capsule, an ammonia capsule underneath his nose. And
oh boy, I'll tell you, they've lost Matt Christensen already this year, and
you know that has to be scary for this Minnesota Duluth team, having seen their captain go down with 2 strokes. And Cortez is sitting up there, and you saw him speaking, so that's good. That's a good sign.
Pioneers with the lead overall. They trail 5-4 tonight. There's Mike Sertich. They trail 5-4. The Pioneers do tonight, but overall they have the lead, the 5-goal advantage, and still further attention to Mike Cortez. And I suspect that when he is able, they will usher him and help him to the dressing room. But he is not able at this point to get up. They will, I suspect, not start anything until they're able to get Mike Cortez into the dressing room.
They cleared the bench. You saw all of the Duluth players. That's what alerted us to the fact that there was something else wrong. All of the Duluth players came off the bench to give Cortez some room. And
there he goes.
You see Cortez making his way out of the bench area, and he'll be going off across the ice. He looks very pale. I suspect, Norm, that he probably fainted in there, and that's why they called the doctor.
No question, I think that he fainted, and he's being steered to the exit, and he's not in great shape now, but they'll get him down into the dressing room. And let's see, he's being helped down. He doesn't look well at all, does he? He looks very pale, and I agree with you. Look at him, he's in pain. Don't know what the problem was. It appeared to be a stomach problem. Let's take a look here.
Right there, he's laying flat out. And
there's a skate of Onstad over the top, and then down on top of him, teammate Jim Springer, and he goes right back down on the ice. And I don't know, hard to tell what the problem was, but I don't think there's any doubt that he fainted or came close to fainting. It required Robert Leffler, the Pioneer doctor, to come in and give him some attention. We're now underway as John Hajduk is in the goal for Duluth. He played last night. Cortez is into the dressing room. We hope that nothing is very serious. We understand that it was a chest problem, that he was hit in the chest area, as Eckelbarger will clear it in. Hajduk slows it up in behind, and Toomey will work the other way. Time running out. Pioneers in good shape as it's cleared into the corner right side of Chris Olson. Now along the end boards, and it'll be Grant Dion. Quick pass to his left to Eckelbarger, leading the rush. Eckelbarger into the zone, moves to the middle, nice pass. Goal! Grant Dion! It looked as though he was going to miss on his only opportunity, but he stayed with it and scores. Pioneers get even, they're back to that 6-goal advantage.
Watch as they work it, they get a 2-on-1 again. This time Eckelbarger past McIver to Dion. He tries to go around, and it looks like it's going to get poked away, but it comes right back to him, and he whips it in past Hajduk. Boy, that's got to be tough for John Hajduk to come in cold and then face this kind of an opportunity right off the bat.
Grant Dion stayed with it. It appeared that Hajduk would poke it away, but Dion stayed with it. It's now 5-5 in this one, but again, a 6-goal advantage for the Pioneers in total goals. Dion gets the goal, his 8th of the year from Eckelbarger and Gorley at 16:44. What a play by Grant Dion. And a whistle will have a face-off. 3:03 in the game. It's 5-5 after the Pioneers led 6, make it 8-2 last night. 8-2 last night. It's now 5-5 tonight, so DU with that 6-goal advantage. There's Matt Christensen. We get a good look. He's down with his teammates on the bench. There's Matt Christensen. You see how well he looks, and that's, of course, good news. I think not only shock amongst his team and at school at Minnesota Duluth, but around the league. Everybody felt very badly about Christensen's strokes, and it's amazing that he's back this quickly after being in intensive care not long ago. Here comes Brett Hall to center. Hall trying to work in for a shot. Now Skeeter Moore will have to slow up. Matthias has it. Delayed offside as Matthias brings it to center. That's wiped out, and Matthias loses it there. Crossing pass. Mayer the first one to it to keep it out of the zone. Mayer banks it in, and it is controlled by Jim Springer. Springer, lead pass. Illikainen checked at the line. Springer comes in. Offside, they say. 2 minutes, 16 seconds left. Pioneers headed for the championship series. Who will it be, Minnesota or Wisconsin?
Well, let's talk about my prediction. I mean, when you make it, you got to go with it. I said Wisconsin last night.
You did, and they trail by 3 goals after this afternoon's game.
They're down by 3, but there's another shot tomorrow.
Director Brad Stensberg agrees with you.
Brad is a man of much hockey knowledge.
Shot, McMillan trying to get it off, rolled off his stick. Mercier trying to get it to Matthias, in good position, comes to Mayer, drive, save Hajduk. And out of the zone it goes. Mercier spins to chase it down. Delisle is with him as they go into the corner left side of Chris Olsen. 1:45 remaining in the weekend series. This figured to be a very close weekend series, but the Pioneers took charge in Friday night's game and have had it going their way. Here comes McMillan. Can't get the shot off. And look at Eckelbarger being muscled in front by Odnikon as it's cleared out and across the Pioneer line.
He was being more than muscled, he was being mugged.
And the lead pass to Matthias and misfires, icing. Pioneers 1:25 in the game.
Brad is also from Wisconsin, so I think his...
Oh, well, that explains it.
I think his judgment might be a little tainted.
Minnesota winning 4-1 this afternoon at Mariucci Arena. Take the 3-goal advantage into game 2. The Duluth Bulldogs on the verge of being eliminated from further postseason play, and they would not get to the NCAA round of 8 and beyond. They've been in the Final Four the last 2 years. 2 years ago, lost in 4 overtimes to Bowling Green. Last year, lost in the first round of the Final Four. Going in each year, they were the favorite, I think, to win it all. And they did not have that happen the last 2 years. Into the corner, held for a face-off as the noise level picks up at the DU Arena.
Well, the bleacher creatures are going nuts, and they'll probably go nuts for the final minute here.
Next week, Friday, if you can't be here at the DU Arena, 871-2336. That's the ticket office phone number. Not many tickets will be available, if any, and figures to be a sold-out situation here, but check 871-2336. If you can't be here, Friday night we will have it for you beginning at 7:30 on Mile High Channel 3 and United Channel 18. Saturday night, next Saturday night, a week from tonight, 7:30, Mile High Channel 3 and United Channel 26. That's a change, United Channel 26. So it's United 18 Friday night, United 26 on Saturday night. Pioneers in the WCHA championship round and will host it. Face off right side of Olsen. There's Brett Hall with a drive, and that missed. Around it comes, pinching in, DeAngelis. Now the Pioneers take charge. Mathiasen across the center ice face-off circle, trying to move into the zone, taken away by Brett Hall. Right side pass to Toninato. Oh, he gets it back to Hall, and Hall says, let me have it one more time. Drills it wide of the target. 45 seconds in the game. Crossing pass, that's behind Mathiasen. Skeeter Moore will clear it in. Back on the Pioneers. McMillan in across the line. McMillan into the corner. Back come the Bulldogs. Into the zone. McIver sends it in front. Nobody there for Minnesota Duluth. McIver has it one more time. 15 seconds in the game. McIver with a drive. Another shot. Where is it? Olsen smothers it. 9 seconds in the game.
Norm, while I think about it, I do want to thank Dallas Gom for joining us, consenting to join us between second and third period. I know that's not his favorite thing to do, and he's not real comfortable doing it, but he certainly is very well spoken, and it was a pleasure talking with him between periods. I hope, and I'm sure he hopes, that we don't have that opportunity again this season.
Yeah, we'd rather see him
out there skating and playing.
Well, they've pulled Hajduk with 9 seconds left in favor of the extra attacker, Mike Srdych. Getting the extra attacker in the offensive zone with a face-off coming left side of Chris Olsen. What Srdych is trying to do is win this second game. It's tied at 5. He wants to win it to end the weekend series on a positive note. By that, I mean winning the second game, although they won't win the weekend series.
I like it. I think that's what you should do.
Yeah. He says it's important to his program that they come away after last night with a win tonight.
And they're going to try to get it to Hall, you know that.
Hall is right behind Odnakan. And now Odnakan and McMillan waved out of the circle. No, McMillan isn't, Odnakan is. Coming in to take the drop, it'll be Norm McIver. Okay, McIver will go against Mathiasen. 9 seconds, it's 5-5. Duluth wanting to win the second game. Players into the circle too quickly. They drop the puck anyway. Time running out, it cleared across. Drive, Olsen save, it's cleared out. That'll do it, the game is over. Well, the Pioneers and the Bulldogs tie tonight 5-5. The final score, 5-5, but the Pioneers win the 2-game total goal series as they win last night 8-2. They win it 13-7. That's the final, and the Pioneers will advance to the championship round in the WCHA. There's Mike Srdych, the head coach of the Bulldogs. He's headed out to congratulate his players for a fine effort tonight, but the Pioneers doing the job this weekend. And DU will advance, and a fine weekend of play by the Pioneers. We'll be back to talk about all of that. Let's pause from the DU Arena. These are the WCHA playoffs.
We just found out that Booby here drinks the same beer as me, Corky, Sparky, Buck, and Boom Boom. Light beer from Miller. Now, Booby, Buck, and Boom Boom like light because it's got a third less calories than the regular beer and it's less filling, while Corky and Sparky drink it for the great taste. So Boom Boom, Buck, and Booby don't necessarily drink it for the same reason as Sparky and Corky. They all agree that light's the best beer to buy. Isn't that right, Booby? You bet, Boom Boom. Right, Bart?
You got it, Corky.
What about that, Sparky? You said it, Booby.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
On graduation day, I remembered all those teachers over the years who helped me to learn and grow in so many ways through their warmth, intelligence, and enthusiasm. Those teachers really made a difference in my life.
So the Pioneers win the series, and as we said, they will advance to the championship round, and they will host the championship round because they finished first in the regular season. Because they accomplished that, they have home ice all the way, and this year it will go all the way down to the championship series. So an important weekend win by the Pioneers, and they really have played very well of late. when you go back to the second game against Michigan Tech and the 2 games against Minnesota Duluth, they're back to where they were earlier in the season, that consistent play, taking the play to the opposition, and it's nice to see that develop as we go into the final series.
You know, right there early in the season, through November and December, they were a dominating hockey club. They just smothered people, and nobody had a chance really against them. I think they're playing that way or close to that way right now, particularly if you get Gom back, which they should have next week, and if Lamb could ever get back. Now Matthias and the rest of them are playing well enough that they're going to be very strong.
We'll be back to the DU Arena in just a moment. These are the WCHA playoffs.
Ready in just a few more minutes.
Miller, if you're late one more time, you're fired.
Your breakfast will be ready in just a few more minutes.
Good morning, Mr. Hagmeyer. Safeway, when you don't have time to wait in line.
Will Elton and Millie ever reconcile their differences? Will Carly go natural?
I don't know why you don't want me.
Can Roseanne persuade her man? For the answers to these and other questions about your favorite stars, stay tuned to the only one that really knows.
Pioneers win the 2-game total goal series 13-7. We'll get a look at one of Duluth's goals in the third period, and it was very much evenly played in the game, but the Pioneers never lost control of things. Let's take a look at the goal.
I believe this is Toomey's goal.
Yep.
It is, as the Pioneers just couldn't control it, and here you see Sean Toomey skating in and pops it up over Chris Olson, and that again cut the goal margin to 4 in the total goal series. Here it is again, as Toomey will skate right in, puck's laying there, and he just pops it up over Olson. And then they got another goal from Moore to cut it to a 4-goal margin. DU came back with goals from Weiss and Diane to tie it, and they end up with that 6-goal margin that they built yesterday. So really the key to this series was last night's game, where DU was clearly the dominant hockey club.
1 penalty in the third period. Skeeter Moore for slashing. He went off at 13:35. Overall, 3 penalties to the Pioneers for 6 minutes, 6 penalties to Duluth for 12 minutes. And let's give you the shooting statistics very quickly as we wrap it up. The shots in the third period, 29 shots attempted by the Pioneers to 22 for Minnesota Duluth. 22 of the Pioneer shots on target, 16 for Duluth. And it was Cortez who made 18 saves. Hajduk made 1 as he came in to spell Cortez. And overall, 44 saves for the 2 goaltenders in the game. Olsen had 14 saves in the third period for 27. Pioneers out shooting Duluth in this one, 79 to 53 shots attempted. Shots on target, 49 to 32, and again the 2 goaltender saves. A total of 44 for the Duluth goaltenders and 27 for for Chris Olson.
Jim Smith, 13 shots. Tom Weiss, 11 shots to lead DU. And Brett Hall had 7 shots individually to lead Minnesota Duluth.
Dwight Mathiasen had scored the winning goal in this 2-game total goal series.
Well, you have to go back to remember that.
You do. And thanks to Joe Kimmett, we have that information. But he did, and he really, going into tonight's game, had scored 5 goals in his last 2 games. Tom Weiss coming on very well as a goal scorer during the important stage of the season.
So the game-winning goal actually came last night. The final goal of the night.
Goal,
yeah, the series-winning goal came last night. The last goal of the game last night to make it 8-2. So you never know how these things can happen when you go 2 nights.
And we won't know who the Pioneers will play next weekend. We do know that DU will be here at the DU Arena. But it'll either be against Minnesota or Wisconsin. That won't be known until Sunday afternoon, so we'll just have to wait and see. Thanks to Joe Kimmett, our statistician, as always. For Jim Conrad, I'm Norm Jones. The Pioneers advance in the WCHA playoffs and will go into the championship round. They win against Duluth, 2-game total goal score, 13-7. From the DU Arena, this has been the WCHA playoffs.
of the WCHA playoff games has been brought to you in part by light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Safeway Gas and Grocery, when you don't have time to wait in line. Kump Motors, a one-of-a-kind dealer. KLSC AM 1090, classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Tynan's Nissan Volkswagen Isuzu in the 700 block of South Havana. And by Dodge City. We'll beat the pants off any deal.
Win was cut by one very early last night. Dan Tusno was left in the slot, and many wondered aloud whether a 6-goal lead was the best way to start a game.
When you're going into a game with a 6-goal cushion, it's a little difficult, I think, to maintain the type of intensity you have to play a team like Minnesota Duluth.
They did rally to tie matters with Tom Weiss wristing it past Mike Cortez to make it 1-1 after one period. But the second period saw Duluth score twice for a 3-1 lead. The series still seems safe, but to DU there was pride at stake, and Scott Mathias set up Dave Hansen to cut the Bulldog lead to 3-2 after two. Early in the third, Tom Weiss got his second goal of the night, the Cherry Creek High School star again using the wrist shot. The Minnesota Duluth team would not go away, though, and their last gasp for this year came on a pair of goals for a 5-3 lead. The Pioneers, safely into the WCHA finals, did not want to go in on a loss, though, and Weiss's hat-trick goal, along with a score from Grant Dion, sent DU into the final.
Your tie to us tonight is just as good as a win, and I'm really pleased with the performance. A real gutsy performance.
You know, we really missed Dallas out there because he does have such a scoring punch. It was a little hard for me to see him getting undressed because I talked before him, I thought he was going to play. But I think the guys did a good job of pulling together and taking up the slack.
We wanted to win this game. We had a few chances there. That's how it's going to be next week. I mean, we got up 8-2 last night, and it's not going to happen very often from here on in. We're going to have to play hard every game. So if we're down, it's good practice to try to
today to advance to the WCHA playoff finals against the Pioneers. Those games are Friday and Saturday night at the DU Weiss Arena. Around the NHL today, Washington over the Islanders 3-1, Calgary and Detroit.
I'm gonna ask that boy something. Come on, Wilkie. Hey, boy. You ever heard of Blind Willie Reynolds? Sunhouse? I knew it. I bet you're from Mississippi, too, ain't you? Yes, sir. Well, I used to hear him at the Bandana Club outside Camp J.J. Riley. Folks used to come from everywhere, Wilkie. Folks be dancing, sweating. Reminded me of a place I used to go in France. Ah, the whiskey, the women. Place called the Cafe Napoleon. Where you learn to play, son? My daddy taught me, Sarge. You play pretty good, boy. Okay, wasn't that good?
Yeah, that was good, Sarge.
Take it easy, son.
I mostly agree with the sergeant, sir.